Hello everyone, my name is Pixelriffs. Welcome to your Tuesday Minecraft livestream. That's right, Minecraft livestream. Gonna be streaming some of this wonderful game today. I'm on a roll with Minecraft right now. I feel like we should take advantage of this momentum and get some people in to watch a stream. How are you guys doing? Hope you're all having a wonderful week so far. Yeah, today we're not going to be doing some Final Fantasy. We are going to be doing some building in the Minecraft Survival Guide world. I have some stuff I want to work on for the latter episodes of the week that I thought it'd be nice to work with you guys on camera and do some stuff. And fingers crossed right now, but my stream health seems to be looking a little bit better. And having said that, I've probably jinxed it. Hello, Pixelriff's doing good. I'm on K7. Welcome along. Good to see you. Let's see. Liara, I Dig Mr. Candy, Talismancer, My Best Friend Plank, True Purple, and FSD. Welcome. Welcome along. Great to see you guys. Hope you're all very well. I have a couple of other surprises for you guys on this stream, actually, because if you'll take a look below the webcam right now, a few things about the layout have changed. Joel Duggan has got me hooked on these stream labels. Yeah, I've actually kind of changed some stuff about my stream layout, got rid of the event list, which I thought was kind of like, I don't know. It was always a bit of a compromise. So now we've got some other stuff going on in the form of overlays. So I have like an actual overlay that I designed earlier today, so we can keep track of who's subscribed lately, who's been cheering and tipping the stream. And the latest followers are going to be tracked there as well, so hopefully you should see those names change throughout the course of today's stream, but I figured it would be fun to mess around with some of that stuff. Drats wishes to share his disapproval of not seeing more Final Fantasy. We'll see more Final Fantasy at some point. I've just got some momentum with Minecraft right now. Stay puffed, hello. Michelle, 38p, thank you for the 100 bits. I am having a wonderful day, made even more wonderful by the fact that you cheered some bits on the stream. Thank you so much. So here we are. Here we are with new overlays, new whatevers, and we're going to be logging into the Survival Guide world and getting some stuff did, ladies and gents. It's a little big compared to the stream, but you feel like it looks good? Yeah, I'm still in the adjustment phase of it. I can make a couple of tweaks to it if I need to. I just want to kind of want to try it out, first of all. And I guess I could always resize the stream window itself and then do some stuff like around the outside, do a border for it so that the game itself is not obscured. But we're playing Minecraft right now. There's not a lot of information at the top of the screen that you're really missing, so I figured I would probably I'd probably keep it like this for now, and we'll see if it needs resizing, if it needs kind of messing with. So all of this is temporary, all of it is subject to change in future, but I thought I would give it a go and kind of unify the style of that and my pause screen, which have been kind of at odds for a little while. Excuse me, I'm just pouring myself some tea. It's so colorful. I know. I really like. I'm a big fan of colors, guys. Like I can't stand all of this black and white nonsense. It should be colorful, and hopefully it's readable enough for some folks out there who might be colorblind. Socks Bunny Sims with the 600 showing love bits. Thank you so much. Your YouTube videos help me so much, so thanks for making them. Thank you. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that the YouTube videos are helping. I'm very, very glad when I read stuff like that. So here we are. Minecraft Survival Guide world is loading up. Here we are in Founder's Forge, and I need to continue working on the ravine here. I have a ton of terracotta. I have all of the cyan dye I could possibly want. That pig is going to have to move. But first and foremost, we need to grab ourselves some of the cyan terracotta, I think. I've got a bunch of glass smelting up in the furnace. I've started an episode about this already, but I figured I would do the work for that episode on camera, on stream, and then you guys will be able to catch up with the episode itself on Thursday. We're going to do a bunch of extra stuff in the episode on Thursday as well, but I figured this would be a good opportunity to get it started with you guys. Big fan of colors, says the person who's identifying colors are 2 shades of blue and white. Well, that's still color, you know? I feel like, you know, I've got a limited amount I'm working with, but that's how you brand stuff. So anyway, we have a ton of glass in here. I'm probably going to put all of this stained glass back in this chest for now, just for safekeeping. We need to make a lot of grey. I have a ton of squid ink behind here that we discovered on Sunday's stream that I just left there. And we have a bunch of like bone meal and stuff that we can grab. I need to get some cactus, smelting as well. Liara with the 6 months. Thank you so much for the resub. Enjoy your name being at the top of the screen for a little bit. I think I've actually got the proportions of that right, which is good. It took me ages to figure out how to get it centered. Believe it or not, I've been working on this stream layout for like most of the morning. And thank you so much for the 6 months of support, Liara. Let's see some hype in the chat for Liara, folks. Hey, Dark Absol, welcome. Today's tea is Bluebird's Smoky Russian. I love myself some Lapsang, and I really like this particular blend. It tastes like drinking a bonfire, which is kind of the best thing ever. Hello, Black Feather. It's not quite centered. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird. The shape that I drew up there is also a little bit wonky. It's not quite symmetrical, which is probably going to really annoy Joel Duggan if he drops into this stream. But hey, annoying Joel Duggan is something that I can do occasionally. It's fine. Do I like Indian tea? I can't remember how much Indian tea... I mean, all tea is kind of from India and China anyway, so I don't know what tea I've had is technically Indian and what is not, like in terms of the region it was produced, but would always love to try some more. You weren't too taken by the Smoky Russian, found it a bit too much like drinking a bonfire? That's what I like. I tried the bonfire toffee one, that didn't have enough smoke flavor in it for me. I like the apple and the kind of caramel flavors in that one, but no, I really like the Smoky Russian. Let's grab a little bit more of this, because yeah, we will need a whole bunch of the cyan for the walls of this place. But I was thinking about it, and it might actually not need all that much, considering where we're going to be layering the glass. Because if we do 7 layers of glass, that makes it pretty much opaque. And at that point, we won't need any more than 7 layers of the ravine walls to be decorated. But I don't know if I still want to do something like below the ravine, and there might be areas where it's more visible. So we're gonna terraform as much as we dare to at this point. We are currently 15 minutes into the stream, and we have not yet dropped frames, so call that some sort of miracle. I did reset my internet router this morning, and the internet went down yesterday, so I do wonder if my ISP was actually doing work on the line, and having a reset things might actually help matters a little bit. We will see. Azuma's stream is talking about metal, here it's tea. Well, I think Azuma's stream talks about tea often enough as well. Are we talking about tea or shisha? No, definitely tea. What are we doing? Right now I'm making resources. We are making a lot of cyan terracotta, but we are about to put that to good use in the ravine over here, and I will probably find... I don't have an ender chest in here. By the way, spoilers for Wednesday's episode. I'm going to grab some more fireworks if we have an ender chest nearby. Oh, there's more stained glass in there. Good. I think the ender chest in the Blacksmith's Guild is probably going to be the best place for it. Why don't I create a proper bedroom? Don't need one. Like, some people like having that kind of, like, home comfort thing in Minecraft where you have, like, a toilet in your house and stuff. I don't really do that stuff a lot of the time. Like, I don't really need, like, a bedroom as such in my worlds. I want you to do a spoiler wall to hide the spoilers. We'll build one of those on stream. I'm sure that'll resolve matters. Whoa, okay. Yeah, might need to... I think we'll do the ravine up to about here. I think the walls only really need doing up to about here, because if we start layering glass from here upwards, then you're not going to see the bottom of the ravine anyway, so we can do whatever we want with it after that point. So let's get to it. Enjoy block placement, guys, because that's what most of this stream is going to be. But that means we have plenty of occasion to chat and talk about some stuff. Hi, Piggy. Hello. Are you going to be here forever, friend? I feel like you probably are, aren't you? I don't have any carrots or anything to feed you. Wall pig. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I don't know why that sounds like a death metal song. There you go. You're safe. I just needed to build behind you, that's all. Didn't want to kill him. All right, and then we'll kind of open out the ravine a little bit here at the top. Wall pig. Ba 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 ba. You make my ravine big. Ba 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 ba. You make everything bacony. Wall pig. Spider Pig, is that you? Oh man, Spider Pig with Spider Jockey, but with a pig instead of a skeleton. Can you imagine? Baby zombies on Pocket Edition can ride anything, can't they? So technically they can ride pigs. They can become pig passengers. I'd love to see that. Talking about streaming and stuff, what's the deal with DV? DV still exists as an entity. I am just taking a break from it because Minecraft Survival Guide is doing really well. And one of the problems I've identified with my YouTube creator output is momentum. I tend to find that, like, if a project doesn't have momentum, I don't do anything because I guilt myself into thinking, oh, I should work on DV stuff. And then if I just, for whatever reason, can't produce a DV episode, I just get nothing done for weeks. And then it feels like I've kind of lapsed out of my content creating habits and I have to shake things up a little bit to get back into it. So I'm leaving DV for the moment. I'm not like leaving the server, but like I'm putting DV kind of on hiatus as a series I upload. I'm giving it a break. And DV will return at some point. I've not officially left the group or anything, and I plan to continue to be a member of DV for basically as long as possible. A break sounds legit. Yeah, I mean, people do it. It's about creativity and it's about where the momentum is. And also, if I'm being brutally honest about it, it's about views. I feel motivated to make Minecraft Survival Guide because I have so many people watching now. And the fact that I've been doing daily videos is obviously doing pretty well for it. But, like, Minecraft Survival Guide gets hits in a way that DV currently does not. DV is quiet now. And there are definitely people still making videos from the server. Like, if you look at BJW has just started making videos again, which he was kind of absent for a while, so it's good to see him returning to content creation in general. We have the Pigglesworth making videos on there. I think Silent Whisperer is busy with Truly Bedrock, or whatever the server is that Zloy is on. Is it Truly Bedrock? Totally Bedrock? I forget the name of it, which is terrible, because I should know that. Zloy is my friend. But, yeah, I think he's on Truly Bedrock with Zloy, and he's kind of got his focus there right now. But he's a Bedrock player to begin with. Like, he was on Bedrock, and the only reason he joined DV in the first place was he was looking for a Java server to join. I have Umberto managing things on the Mushroom Island. I do, yeah. And there are a bunch of projects that I started over there, like the cruise ship and everything, that I felt like they were just too grindy for me, and I wasn't putting in the time. I started DV it's season 5, right, of DV, with 1.13. I also started the Minecraft Survival Guide with 1.13, and as most people will tell you, it's really difficult to do a survival series on 2 places at once. Like, if you're playing vanilla survival in one place and you're also playing it on if you're playing a single player world and also a multiplayer server, like, it gets really difficult to manage your time efficiently and effectively. And so, yeah, it felt like I wasn't giving enough attention to either series at that point. So I really felt like I should probably give DV a break and focus on Minecraft Survival Guide, because it's a tutorial series, and tutorial series are kind of in need right now. Like, they're quite popular, and the reason for that is because there aren't all that many tutorial series out there. And I'm effectively making a Let's Play, but explaining people, like, the concepts of what I'm doing at the time, which you'll find a lot of Let's Players are doing anyway, but they just don't really consider their series a tutorial. The grind is not fun on 2 worlds. Yeah, that's it. That's more or less it. It's having to build something in survival, like the size of the stuff that I wanted to do on DV was just becoming unmanageable, really. The cruise ship that's totally not the Titanic. It's not. The Titanic looks very different. Like, I don't know a great deal about ship construction, but the Titanic does look very different. I was looking up reference images of other cruise ships just so I wasn't building the Titanic, but it's, yeah, the construction of it looks quite different to the one I built. Just because there are icebergs around, everyone's like, haha, it's the Titanic. Ben Roblox GT, I'm the best in survival. I doubt that, but thank you. I'm glad you like the videos. Got a few follows coming in from Shattered Life Twitch, Golden Elegance, FDK, Pyro XD, and Twitch Koos. Thank you guys for the follows. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for stopping by today's stream and checking out the place. I figured it was going to be a little bit quieter here during the week than it would be on Sundays, and considering a few other folks are streaming around this time, I appreciate you all coming by and checking out this one. So yeah, I'm not going to go crazy with the patterns and stuff like I've done over there. I feel like that terraforming over in that patch is just a little OTT. And like I said, if we're going to have some fog effect down here anyway, then the details are not going to be super important. The iceberg Tania. How about a one-chunk survival guide? One-chunk survival should just be its own thing. I mean, that's that Captive Minecraft series, isn't it? My best friend Plank and Negative Arsenal, thank you guys for the follows. Yeah, if you've never played Captive Minecraft, it's made by a group called the Farlanders, who are like a map-making conglomerate, map-making team, and yeah, really interesting challenge. You have to get advancements to expand the world border. And there's a map of theirs that was, I think it was called like a Winter Realm or something like that, that is actually on Realms, and was a really fun challenge. I played it a little while back. We didn't get super far in it. I started it by myself and then ended up playing it with Paige and Core, and we could always find times to collab. Hey, Jay Harris, welcome. So the ravine over here kind of needs opening up to the sky around this area, so we'll pillar up and we'll do that. I feel like I am going to have to take out this water source, though. We'll just trap it in the cave wall. It's there if we need it. Oh no! Will upgrading to a 64-bit OS improve your Minecraft performance? Depends on your PC, I think, but I'm not the most technical person in the world, so asking me stuff about that is not going to necessarily yield the best results. Stay Puffed with the 10 bits. Thank you so much for cheering some bits, Stay Puffed. DV Season 6 thinking inside the chunk. It's an interesting theme. That sounds like the theme of a like a museum exhibit or something. Thinking inside the chunk. One of the things I want to do later on in this series is continue a project that I started on DV Season 3, where I was building a museum. Going to build a museum and make exhibits for every type of Minecraft block. I think that's going to be the plan. Seeds, there we go. Trying not to look too hard at anything on my right. Museum sounds cool. Yeah, I wanted to do a bunch of like interactive exhibits, and that'd be really great when we eventually release this world as a world download, because then we can get a bunch of people kind of looking around this museum, and it tells them all about the various blocks and stuff related to the game. I think Biffa did something like that on Hermitcraft Season 3, you know, the Amplified season, if any of you guys have watched any of those videos. I'm pretty sure Biffa had a museum, but what he was building was more like, it was kind of more of a Hermitcraft museum in a way. He was doing stuff that was, like, various hermits were building exhibits that were more about their own interests, like Etho was going to build a redstone thing, and I imagine Doc M was going to do something similar. Various people were going to contribute builds to it, and so forth. I can't remember what actually came of that project. I don't know if it ever got finished, but yeah, Season 3 was about the time I started watching Hermitcraft as like a vague fan, but not nearly with the veracity that I watch Hermitcraft now. When 1.14 comes around, am I going to prune the chunks? I think so, because the nearest jungles to me have both been explored, and I don't really want to go 12,000 blocks to find myself another jungle. So I think what I might do is delete a few of the chunks that are on the way to the Woodland Mansion, because I flew over a jungle on the way to that. But I don't have any kind of nether portals around there or anything. And, I mean, just resetting the Woodland Mansion wouldn't be a bad idea. It's not like we're going to really gain all that much from that, especially with evokers being in village raids. So I'm kind of thinking I might prune some of those chunks and just delete the stuff that's on the way out to the Woodland Mansion. Because then I can go to that jungle and find bamboo and pandas and stuff if they generate there. So it's not a guarantee, though, so chances are we might end up doing something different in the end anyway. We will see. We will see. There's a lot of tech chat going on in the chat right now. I appreciate you guys helping out people who are a little bit less tech savvy, because I am one of those people. So several of you have probably helped me once or twice. Hey Maddox, welcome along. Zazu, hello. Can you delete chunks? It's possible to do with external programs, or if you know which files in like the map files store specific areas, then you can delete them from your world folder, but that is a little bit more dicey and can potentially like corrupt the world if you don't do it right, or you can lose a huge amount of the stuff that you've been building, which is no bueno. When that happens, will I do a tutorial on it? That's the idea, yes. Hopefully. And it's going to be a tutorial that I will need to do a lot of research on to make sure that I don't get too much stuff wrong, because I don't want to be responsible for like people following a tutorial and then having corrupted their world. So it's either going to involve a very heavy disclaimer that I don't really know what I'm talking about, or I'm going to have to really like research some stuff and make sure that I do everything right and explain everything right. If you delete chunks, the blocks in that chunk will be gone. Yes and no. The way Minecraft terrain generation works, a lot of the time, if you delete a chunk, it can, if you delete like map data from your world, it can just restore itself, because that's how procedural generation works. Yeah, and I know there are tutorials for pruning chunks out there, so it's also possible that I might just find a good one of those, one that I can count on to be reliable for the current versions of the game, and then just link people to that and say, look, I did that, here is how, rather than making a tutorial on it myself. Like, it might be a good thing to include in the survival guide, but if I can't be confident in how to explain it, then I don't necessarily want to be making a tutorial about it, you know? Just came from the podcast. Great episode this week. Thank you. Yeah. Logical Geek Boy was a really great guest. It was really good to have somebody representing the technical community in a capacity greater than either Joel or I could manage, because while we enjoy building technical stuff, neither of us are what you would call technical Minecrafters. Like, we both make stuff with redstone. I feel like Joel does more stuff than I do, but I've recently been forced to look into more farming-related stuff because of doing this series. Not that I wouldn't do it by choice, but I've only recently really started getting into automating things. But yeah, it was really nice to have Logical Geek Boy on and representing and advocating for the technical community as well, being kind of more standing up for their rights, their beliefs, and representing them in the discussion we had about how Mojang is resolving problems with the game, but not necessarily to the benefit of the technical community. Remember when Etho was the redstone god? Yeah. These days, he's kind of the redstone legend, shall we say. Xylem, you have a full set of diamond armor and tools, and they still haven't moved out of your first night house. Yeah, I dig that. Sometimes you can just build a starter house, and you're like, you know what? I've got enough chests in here. I'm fine. Am I putting concrete into a ravine right now? I'm putting terracotta into a ravine. How dare you? Concrete. Who uses concrete anyway? Set off a firework in protest. Nope, that was just a raw mistake. It looked grey. It is grey. It's cyan. Cyan terracotta. This was the grey block back in the day. I remember. You young whippersnappers don't know when we didn't have concrete. We had to use terracotta all day long. The mesas were ruined. You're about to hit the end too. Good luck. The end doesn't know what's coming. Excuse you? Suffocate me, will you? Hey, Paranol. Cyan hype. I need to go and get some more food at some point. I'm taking a lot of fall damage here. Some would say unnecessarily, but I suffer for my art. Builders, we want stairs and slabs. Redstoners, we want robot sheep. Or sheep. That's what you need. If you guys have been watching my Cobble Clicker series with Zloy XP, thank you. Because I love that series now. It's actually genuinely a really great map. And I didn't expect it to be a bad map, because polymaps make some really good stuff, but like that whole format, the skyblock format plus the little like behavior stuff they've added in and all of the new animals and things, it's really interesting. Like it's kind of forcing you, it's doing the Sky Factory thing of forcing you to look at resource collection a new way. And I really enjoy it so far. It's been a blast to play that. So I appreciate anybody who's been supporting that series and checking it out. Because compared to Survival Guide, it's not going to get as many views or whatever, but it's definitely worth a watch. Cyan is grey because colours. So glad I'm filling in the holes in the side. Yeah, no, exactly. I would not be able to deal with like having random zombies spawning in like 2x1 holes down here. Like it would not be good. I would have a bad time with that. It also means I get all of the stone and stuff out of my inventory, which is doubly good, really. Teach Mumbo how to fly with Elytra. I mean, Mumbo can call me if he wants me. I'm pretty sure Mumbo knows how to fly with Elytra. He just has trouble taking off in the first place because there is a lot of lag on the Hermitcraft server. Like, everybody likes to give Mumbo a hard time, but from what I gather, the lag on that server does get really bad for some people. I mean, he brings it on himself with the stuff he builds around his base, but... Pazman, so that's the man behind the awesome voice. Where? Oh, the old jokes are the best. Welcome to the stream. Yes, I am Pixel Riffs, the Hermitcraft recap guy. One of two. Collect the whole set. Subscribe to Zloy. How many times can you get Elytra? As many as you want, as long as you're prepared to infinitely explore the end islands. Only a small chunk left to go. I think we're actually, yeah, we're doing all right here. Doing all right here. It's going to be interesting to compare this end where everything is very straight to that end where everything is all jaggedy and see which I prefer. Because I like the details of having like the magma blocks and stuff, but over here it does look more like a ravine in the Minecraft sense. First knew you from Recap, but now you're more into the podcast thing and my tutorials. Thank you. I'm glad you took the time to check out all of the other stuff that I do. Because I do not want, like, he was the Hermitcraft Recap guy to be on my gravestone. I'd rather be remembered for my own creative endeavors rather than recapping the creative endeavors of others, much as I love the Hermits. If we collect the whole set, is there a bonus? Good question. You do need to collect Nashcrafter in that as well, and that's I don't know. She's a rare one. She's a shiny. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Spike Milligan's request for his gravestone. Milligan was a nutter, just in general. I mean, you saw what he said when they gave him a knighthood. I'm pretty sure he also recorded a bit that was like his own obituary, that like it was supposed to be played on the news when he died, and he was just there like standing in the background perfectly healthy, and then like when they announce he dies, he like mimes choking and stuff and falls over. It's a special kind of mind. I've read his war memoirs as well, and he was just as mad before he met all the other goons. Who once tried to throw a brick at a passing airplane? How much time am I going to take to complete the ravine? I don't know. Until it's done. I haven't got like a specific amount of time set out or anything. I normally stream for about 3 or 4 hours, so if it's not complete by then, I'll do a little bit more off camera. We could probably continue it tomorrow or something if I wanted to stream tomorrow. This bit isn't going to take too long. It's the glass. I don't know how long the glass is going to take. Might need to go and gather some more sand. When have I been most fanboyed in my life? As in, like, I fanboyed over somebody else? Or, like, when has anybody fanboyed over me? Because that hasn't happened. I had a couple of people at Minecon 2017 come up to me and say that they really enjoyed Harmony, the series I did with Python. I think Azathoth found me at Minecon, and that was cool. He was wearing a Pink Floyd t-shirt. He was like the first person to really recognize me, which was pretty cool. Although I think False recognized me before that, but she couldn't come up and say hi because she was busy doing her YouTube thing. Azathoth is awesome. He's a cool guy. I only got to talk to him briefly, but yeah, he's been in my streams and stuff since then, and identified himself on my YouTube channel when I was vlogging about the whole thing, and he was like, yeah, that was me. I am doing a fog ravine, yes. Figured that would be the right thing to do for this, because it's meant to be the centerpiece of this whole place, and the fog thing just looks really, really good when you pull it off. The cool thing is I can use black and grey for the effect, and so it doesn't even need to be that deep. You can just do it a layer at a time. We can build over the top of this as well if we want to. If we want to texturize it like we have down there, then we can can do some stuff like that. And we will need some grey concrete for that, because we need the concrete powder. You miss Harmony. I kind of miss doing Harmony as well. Python was a great guy to collab with, but he's got Python's World going on and Hermitcraft still, and yeah, busy guy. We still keep in touch, though. We still need to... I still owe him a drink, like several drinks, from when we played Destiny together, and we had like bets about who could get the most kills, which was always him, by the way. Like, I thought I was decent enough at PvE in that game. Python is an absolute monster. Like, at shooters in general. Like, I didn't think it was possible to be that good, and then I played with Python for a bit, and apparently I was wrong. Is this what I needed the ink for? The ironic thing is, this is actually made with cyan dye and not black dye, but I need the ink for the glass to cover up the rest of it, so yes. In theory, yes. Actually, I might fill this one in and just leave that as it was, and take this one down. There we go. Did I complete the medieval marketplace yet? Kind of no. Like, what I did on the video was all I intend to do with it for now, but I will probably come back to it another time and add some more market stalls around the corner. Because I think I said I was going to do one more market stall by the bottom section of that wall. I've done a few houses, though. That's going to be in Wednesday's episode. You can kind of see them over in the distance if I look that way. Those things. Don't look at them too closely. Spoilers. So, this is a ravine now, then. And we're going to do layers of this, although it's not going to be this high, so I'm actually going to take this part down. Yeah, Python is a busy man. He's a very busy chap. I think lately he's been spending a bit more time taking care of himself, which is a very good thing, let me tell you. When have I fanboyed the most and over whom? I don't know, like, I don't tend to really lose it when I'm talking to people I admire, but I haven't had the opportunity to meet that many of them. It was fun meeting False, Mumbo, and Grian at Minecon. That was cool. But I wasn't like... I was fanboying in the sense that I wanted to talk to them, but not in the sense of like, oh, I don't know what to say. Let's get the grey, go under here. Haha, elytra crawling. It's a lot easier when it's under transparent blocks as well, so I can place a bunch of these. Demonstrated that in today's episode as well, so people know what I'm doing now. Right, let's go get some grey glass, because I think this is done to my satisfaction for now. And it will be easier to detail once we have a glass floor in the entire thing anyway, so I think that works out. Why am I breaking the glass? I want to move that layer a couple of blocks down. It was too high at that point. I don't want the fog to be like that high up in the ravine. I want there to be like a little bit of space. Like that right there is nice. But 2 blocks higher, it was like it would be spilling over the sides a little bit. Give myself a bit of headroom, you know? Gonna get to meet your first couple of hermits this week. Really? Who are you gonna go and see? And where? I had not heard that any of them were doing events or anything right now. Can't fill it in with dirt? No. You're missing the point. When you leave a gap between it, it still looks amazing. It does, but the glass effect works better over multiple layers. And so if you're alternating black and then grey, then you can get the fog effect with a shorter space. Whereas if you were just doing black and an air gap and then black and an air gap, it wouldn't look as foggy as quickly. Like you would have to use 10 layers for that instead of 5. What about the cats I left behind? I'll go back for those when I need to make a creeper farm. I'm not in a huge rush right now. I left the bed over here, didn't I? What am I doing? I left it under this tree. There it is. Hup. Black and then a gap and then grey and then a gap. No, same thing applies. Like you need a lot of layers for it to look good. At least as far as I'm concerned. I'm build it the way I'm going to build it. Shut up. Let's catch up on follows. Ace Platinum, MilD78, Pazmen, Picata 4 Games, D Wood. Thank you guys for the follows. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for stopping and checking out today's stream. I need to go and dump off all of this stone, and then we can get to dyeing some glass. Reminding me about Ace Skull Season 5. Yeah. Like that, but black and grey instead of green. You don't need light sources at the bottom, but if we want to like light it up, if we want it to kind of glow from within, then that would be helpful. But it's not necessary for the effect to work. Like Iskall did that specifically because he wanted his ravine to glow. You don't have to. Iron can go in here. Coal can go in there. Great. We'll keep all of the cyan over there with us. We've been live for 45 minutes. We haven't dropped frames. So apparently, whatever happened with my internet, it really, it did get fixed. Thank goodness. I was getting really tired of dealing with that. We've got white stained glass in here. We've got a fair amount of grey dye here that we could probably use for now, but then let's bring some bone blocks over there so that we can combine the bone meal with the squid ink. Squid ink. Yeah, light sources will make it look cool. I was thinking about putting lava down here for a nice even spread of light sources, and then it might look like something was kind of bubbling beneath the surface. But we'll see. I have not yet decided that permanently. Put that away. Leave the cyan dye in there as well. Okay, we've got black stained glass, and then the grey. Am I using the new OBS release? No, I'm using Streamlabs OBS, which I don't think has updated yet. If it's going to update at all. There we go. Lots of grey. A lot of grey, a lot of black. And let's put those side by side and take the shovel out, because I won't need the shovel for anything. So if I place a little bit more of this down here, I want to see if this is going to look good by itself, or if we'll need any more layers further down. Get in there. There we go. A little bit easier. Yeah, that's good. I do want to see a little bit of shape of the ravine floor in there, but I just don't want it to be obvious that there's like stone at the bottom of it, you know? So I think that sort of level is going to be enough. But maybe we could have it start even lower. I'm kind of not sure. Yeah, I think we need to start 2 blocks lower down. We could maybe have it build up a little bit around the walls in this shallower part, though. So I might not take away all of this quite yet, and we'll see how it looks after a while. Obviously, the more you try to put detail into this, the more obvious it's going to be that it's just glass. So I don't know for certain how effective this is going to be. But we may as well try it. The glass noise is too much. I know, it's annoying. I'm just going to be placing it from now on, though. Not going to start from down here. It doesn't look awful like that. It looks a little bit too artificial in the pattern like that, but we'll deal with that later. Not a big deal. I think we really want to start the glass around there. Which is several blocks down from where we left it here, but this is where we're going to start layer number 1. So this is the rest of the stream. Can I make my new overlays smaller or less obstructing? No. You'll get used to them. It's just a change. Personally, I found the event list to be kind of annoying, so I'm trying out something new. Bear with it. It'll take some time to get adjusted, and then it'll all feel like normal after a while. Am I going to hide anything under it? I haven't decided yet. Wondering if there's going to be like a portal to the nether somewhere down here. I see. Hello, welcome along. And hello, Mr. Tony, as well. Covering this whole thing in glass is going to take a fair amount of glass, but luckily I have a fair amount of sand. Thinking of that, I should probably get that smelting in the meantime. I feel like we're going to have to hide that pig underneath this glass. Yeah, I should get the glass smelting now. Yeah, I reckon you should probably go and study, man. You should go and study. Enjoy the studying. Study well. Become intelligent. All my red sand has ended up in the storage system. It's a mistake to put it in that top chest. I should never have done that. Goodness knows what I'm doing juggling all of this stuff right now, but I want to get a shulker box of sand that I can take over and start to smelt. There we go. Of course, I've got to make sure that I pick that up. Didn't know you could smelt red sand. You can. I don't, though. Not typically, anyway. Let's get all of this going in here. a little bit more black that we can use also. Drop that over there. And that's light grey, so we don't want to use that. Cool. That'll do. Let's go get some sleep. Red sand still makes regular glass. Yeah, it feels like it should make like orange glass or something, but it doesn't. If you really wanted to go advanced with this fog layer thing, you could leave off a couple of layers around the magma so it really looks like they were glowing through. Kind of wondering how effective that would be and how much it would just be obvious that it was glass again. Nope. We've lost those two pieces. They're gone forever. Yep. This is not going to be worth the hassle. But it looks weird. There we go. I hate wasting materials. That's the problem. Apparently I'm also terrible at placing blocks. Yeah, especially if the waste is something that's non-renewable, it's just a horrible feeling. It's like I'm throwing away something that I cannot farm from somewhere conveniently. Help me, wandering merchants, you're my only hope. Cool, that's one side done. Should have brought ender pearls. Nice. Ninja. Also didn't really bring anything to pillar with. Got another one there. Any more for any more? There's two down there. I thought I broke some stuff over here as well, but no, I don't think I did. There you go. The lengths I will go to rescue these blocks. Don't come at me with that modded propaganda, Talismancer. I'm going to fill this layer out down here anyway, even if we don't end up needing it because of the layers above here. There we go. Hooray for glass chickens. Hey, we've got stone chickens on our Skyblock Cobble Clicker map. Those are fun. Roy Trusted with the 5 bits. Thank you for the bits. I think the pig is about to save himself. Once we place some glass down here, he's going to wander off that block onto the glass floor. And then for fun, later on, we could try doing the aerial sheep service style thing and whisk him out of here using a lead and elytra. That'll be fun. Presuming I still have some durability left on my elytra at that point. How am I ever going to run out of sand? It happens. It happens. I've already done a fair amount of digging in a desert in this world, and if I continue to make stuff like this out of glass, then goodness only knows we could run out of sand in this world. I mean, not like completely, but it would have to be further and further to go to find a desert. Not you. I'm always very happy when you're like standing out over a drop that a block could fall into and the block happens to return to your inventory. I'm like, good. That's how that should work. Can make some jokes about my natural magnetism. Oh, it's going to be so much easier to place these blocks now. He says misplacing blocks, but just being able to run around on this glass floor instead of having to shift-click everywhere. So nice. Hey, Zarond. So much glass. I know, this doesn't look like Final Fantasy. So it's going to be a grey-black pattern going up. Yeah, I find the streaks in the grey, which are obviously going away when the texture update happens, but in the meantime, the streaks in the grey actually really add some depth to the fog in a way that I didn't really expect, but it's proven to be quite a nice effect. And it also means we can do this in a much more compact space, which gives me more opportunity to detail the ravine a bit more. Is this world on peaceful mode? Nope. I just sleep a lot. It's currently on normal. I'm actually probably around episode 100. I'm going to set the world to hard. I was talking to Joel about it, not on the podcast, but like when we were chatting afterwards, because he asked what UHC was. I guess somebody on Vaston was trying to get people involved with like a UHC match. And, yeah, he's never played hardcore, I don't think. And so I was explaining to him what hardcore was, and I was saying, like, I was thinking about doing a Minecraft hardcore guide at some point, but considering that, like, the first time I died in this series was intentional, but it was so convenient to just leap into the void in the end rather than having to mess around with finding a return gateway. The thought of having to, like, hang out in the end for another couple of hours trying to find a return gateway and not really being guaranteed to find one unless I went back the way I came felt kind of tedious at the time, so not having that option in hardcore mode would just be kind of terrible. Not to mention the fact that I built a Guardian farm and then, like, after everything was set up, I died to Guardians then. I would not feel at all confident in building a Guardian farm in hardcore. Keep spelling my name like Pixel Rifts. Everybody does. Some people think that's what it actually is as well. Like, some people kind of pronounce the T. I'm like, there isn't a T, but it's fine. It's a made-up name anyway, I don't mind. It's the people who misspell my real name that I get annoyed about. So, layer 2 done. Already looking a bit foggier around here, isn't it? And wow, there is no glass left in my inventory. Excellent. Paranor and Zaron went for the same joke but different names. If I demonstrate hardcore, I will probably do it with a new world. Yeah, because I don't want to lose this world, and if you die in hardcore, you only get to spectate the world after that. I don't think you can... I think you can probably change to a hardcore game mode after you've started a world, but it's yeah, it's not exactly something I want to do for Survival Guide. Oh, I'm in the bed. Really tucked up in those sheets, apparently. I'm making swampy water. Not exactly. It's meant to be more kind of like sulfurous fog. Wasn't he the guy who went around the world in 80 days? What's your real name? My real name's Johnny, or Jonathan, I guess, but everyone calls me Johnny at this point. And it's spelled without an H, which is the bit everyone gets wrong, because there are famous Johnnies who have the H in the name. And I am not one. Neither famous nor one with an H. 2 N's, no H, is how I always used to say it. Johnny Joestar. Isn't he the one who's like a jockey as well? I haven't... Oh, no, Jonathan Joestar is the first guy, right? It's the guy from Phantom Blood. I haven't watched any more of JoJo's, by the way. I've got about 5 or 6 episodes into Diamond is Unbreakable. And it's not like I was disliking it. I just haven't been doing so much stuff that I've had a video on in the background, you know? I've been a lot more present when I've been working on stuff. Braindead Cirky has resubscribed. Thank you for the 2 months of support. It was about time you saw me play Minecraft. Yeah, it doesn't happen as often during the weekdays, but yeah, here we are. I just felt like doing it today. I felt like I had a bit of momentum with the Minecraft stuff, and I wanted to get this project done for later in the week. I'm actually a little bit ahead of schedule with Survival Guide for now, which is nice. Yesterday's... Tomorrow's video was recorded yesterday. There we go. Tomorrow's video was recorded yesterday. Thursday's video is basically what you're seeing now. This is like in progress. And then, yeah, I'll have Friday's video done tomorrow, and then I'll be out for the week, basically. Let's catch up on follows here. Skellamaster, Samuel Spence, Pause Plays, Neon is Blue, Godzilla, Norella Galton, True Marine, and Abiders. Thank you guys for the follows. Really appreciate you guys checking out the stream today. I did not smelt any of that glass. I just let it load into the hopper, which is good, I guess, because it needs to do that, but it means that I need to use up the last of the glass that was in there. There we go. Today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. We're bringing you tomorrow's future, today. We're Monsters Incorporated. Is that going to be in time-lapse form with the replay mod, or is that not out for 1.13 yet? No, it is not. Forge has only just been released in beta for 1.13.2. So a lot of mod makers have not had a chance to update, and according to the replay mod forums, which I looked at the other day briefly just to see what the status of it was, wasn't expecting it to be done, but I figured people were at least like asking for it and stuff. They're waiting for another mod maker to update their library, and I think they use that extensively in the architecture of the replay mod. But I know very little about mod development, so don't quote me on that or anything. But I think, yeah, it's going to be a little while before we see replay mod for 1.13. It's probably going to be a case of 1.14 coming out before a lot of the mods update to 1.13, but it's good that they do. Joe Leaps, just a newcomer that found the channel and came from the Survival Guide episode. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you checking out the stream today. We are working on a Survival Guide episode that you will be seeing on Thursday, in which we're going to fill out this ravine and do a little bit of work around here for the atmosphere of the Founders Forge town. I don't know where you are in the Survival Guide series, so you might not have got this far yet, but this is the town I'm building on the plains biome a little way away from my spawn point. Right now we're creating a foggy effect by layering up lots of stained glass, which has required me to smelt a lot of glass. Sometimes I remember to turn the smelter on. Other times not so much. You loved Owlboy? I loved Owlboy too. Owlboy was such a sweet game. I wish more people watched that series. Then again, it might not be for everybody, so... Not a lot of market for people playing platformers on YouTube these days. People tend to like watching sandbox games and Battle Royale stuff. I'm so tempted to buy a Switch just to play that new Tetris game. I've watched a few people play it now. It's so good. I really wish there was more music to it, though, even though the Tetris theme itself is kind of iconic. Like, it's the same 3 pieces of music every match, if you get that far to begin with. I remember getting Tetris on the Game Boy back in the day, and there were just so many, like, good tunes. There was, like, 3 or 4 different pieces of music you could listen to while you were playing. Was Owlboy before or after Harmony? I'm pretty sure it was before. I haven't really played any of the kind of indie pixel art games on my channel for a while. I think that died when I was playing Pyre, which isn't a pixel art game, but was the follow-up from Supergiant Games after they did Transistor and Bastion. Both were games that I really loved. But yeah, I started playing Pyre on my channel and nobody was really interested. Nobody watched it at all. So I thought it's probably time to... call it a day with that stuff. It's a real shame. I sound like that guy who does the Hermitcraft recap. What a coincidence. Somebody should put me in touch with that guy. We could collaborate on something. Dunk Squad with the 11 bits. Thank you so much for dunking those in the bit cup. Very much appreciated. I don't even have a bit cup. What am I talking about? Now that somebody with a larger name is the most recent sub, I am going to very briefly come in here and tweak that a little bit to the right. There we go. Get that a bit more centered, because the bounding box for that is just off, and I don't know why. Like, it says it's centered, but it's not. And that's really annoying to me. So that can get locked in. Yeah, that's looking a bit more centered. Good. Okay. On we go. Sorry about that. Just had to tweak a little bit of my my Streamlabs stuff there. Funny, have me collab with the rando that does the recaps, one whose voice is does that all the time. Yeah. It would be very strange for me to encounter some kind of mirror world version of myself. Decent amount of slime in there now. Going to do an episode on, I think, flying machines on Friday, just to round out the fact that we had a flying lesson. It's like, this is a lesson in how the game can fly, rather than just you. That's already looking good. It's going to look really great once we've done all of this. When did I do the market houses? Oh, that's a spoiler for Wednesday's episode. You're going to see those tomorrow if you watch tomorrow's episode of Survival Guide. So I apologize for spoiling that for you, but not a whole lot I can do about that, huh? I'll try my best not to look at them too closely. So we have grey over here, black over there, right. Ah! Do I record videos ahead of time? I mean, yeah, that's how you record videos. Like, it's not a case of me just recording it and then immediately uploading it to YouTube. Oh no! R.I.P. Ravine Pig. Oh, my heart. Taken from us so young. We will use your pork chops well, my friend. No! Alright, I need a snack. Bear with me. So yeah, I put so much effort into my videos and editing them so that certain things pop up in the videos and making sure that the video has a good flow, that I really couldn't just record and upload on the same day anymore. I used to do stuff like that, and it's also such a drain. It puts so much more pressure on you, and I'm really happy that at this point I've got into a bit of a routine where I can record and upload the videos a day or two in advance of posting them. It also means that I can make sure I get all of the YouTube back-end stuff right, like the end cards that pop up when you finish watching a video and the iCards that come up in between. I can actually put stuff in that's relevant to the video. That stuff's important. It actually helps your YouTube analytics, by the way, to do stuff like that. To use YouTube to its fullest kind of potential, promote videos, keep people immersed in the YouTube experience, like that stuff all counts. In a very small way at first, but it does count, like using end cards and playlists and stuff like that. Anything that keeps people's eyeballs in YouTube is stuff that YouTube favors, so there's a little bit of... it's not quite like SEO, it's a different school of thought, I guess, but that will help you in YouTube's rankings if you do stuff like that, if you put in end screens to give people a new video to click on once they're done watching the current video. It keeps them in the ecosystem, keeps people watching the ads, it keeps YouTube's revenue thing churning. Enjoyed today's video, it sure was useful, thank you. Go forth and fly. Yeah, it was fun doing the flying lesson episode. It was a little bit of a departure from the other stuff we do because it felt more like an actual lesson rather than just me playing Minecraft and explaining what I was doing. It was like, okay, well, here is some technique. Rather than just like, here is how you build something using redstone, or here is how you layer up a bunch of glass in a ravine. It's click-through. Yeah, it is click-through. That's kind of the idea. It's what drives the YouTube economy. Awesome thumbnail for today's episode. I spent ages getting that as well. I really wanted to make sure I got like an action shot where I was flying. And I had one where it was just from like the perspective of being behind me, but it just didn't look right in the thumbnail. So I logged in with the camera account and did it properly. Do I clickbait? No. It's funny, people have changed their definition of what they think clickbait is now, where people think, like, people accuse stuff of being clickbait when it's just got, like, a vaguely attractive thumbnail and stuff that you might click on. That's not what clickbait is. Clickbait is when you mislead somebody into thinking a video contains a certain type of content, and then it's actually something else. Like, to me, at least, that's what the definition of clickbait is. And I do my best to make sure, even if the thumbnail and the title are sort of eye-catching, they are at least representative of what's in the video. To me, clickbait is the folks who make Minecraft videos. I'm not calling anybody out in particular here, but the people who make Minecraft videos where the thumbnail is them saying, like, you know, I've got a hidden base that's underneath bedrock, and then the bedrock kind of, like, comes out at an angle, like it's this kind of ramp trapdoor sort of thing. I'm like, what you're displaying there is not physically possible. And people click on that stuff because they think, oh, that's something I've never seen happen in Minecraft, because it can't happen. Like, I've seen a bunch of those videos lately, and they just kind of, they tick me off a little bit. You're in a car wreck 2 weeks ago. Haven't been able to do much. The videos keep me entertained. Wow. I hope you're okay. Sorry to hear about the car wreck. I hope everybody involved is all right, yourself included. And if you haven't been able to do much since, then I imagine that's probably because you're resting up. I hope your recovery, such as it is, goes well, and I am very glad to be making videos for you in the meantime. I'm lucky enough to have never been, like, seriously injured in anything like that, in any kind of, like, you know, car accident or anything. I've never broken a bone. I took a bit of a nosedive when I was 3 and cracked my head open, but I only had to have, like, 5 stitches. That was probably the worst I've ever injured myself, at least outwardly, you know? Like, I've probably given myself, like, a bad case of food poisoning or something, which might count as an internal injury, but never something that I couldn't, like, recover from. So I count myself very lucky. And obviously right now I don't have anything career-wise that's really going to put me in harm's way. So again, I feel like I'm kind of lucky in that respect. But yeah, whenever I hear about people getting in any kind of accident or whatever, I always feel great sympathy for them. Is it sympathy or empathy? Because I feel like sympathy, to be sympathetic, you have to have had the same experience, right? Is that the definition of it? I forget. Anyway, I hope you're doing all right. This has been a bit of a ramble along the topic of I hope you're doing okay. Both cars were totaled. Nobody was too hurt. You got rear-ended. She hit you at 55. Wow. That's... I mean, everyone is very lucky that they were not seriously injured in that. So I'm glad, and I hope you're all doing okay. It can be difficult just to get back on the road after something like that, though, from what I understand, because of, like, the psychology of it. Like, you're scared to get back in a car because you don't want to have the same thing happen again. But it sucks, especially if you're in the States, because you have to get everywhere by car in most parts of the United States. It is a car economy. What's the whole point of laying glass down? The whole point is to create a fog effect in this ravine so that you can't see the bottom of it. So that A, you can't see that it's not been decorated properly, and B, so the entire thing looks like it's kind of like foggy abyss, like that. And it's going to look pretty good once it's done. I just need an awful lot of glass with which to do it, and I am running low here. I want black, not grey. There we go. How many more layers? Probably 3 or 4. I'm just going to take a step back every time we've laid another layer and see how the effect is looking. What am I using as fuel? Just coal right now. I have blaze rods and stuff, but there's a whole, what's the word? Like, lore behind each of it. I've noticed lately that I've been adjusting my accent to hit the R in law a whole bunch, but then with my current accent, if I say law and if I say law as in like legal practice, it sounds exactly the same. So lately I've been kind of leaning into my Hampshire accent again and going lore. It makes me sound a little bit like I am an apple farmer. But you'll notice I do that in videos. I really hit the R in lore occasionally, and like, my accent is usually very kind of RP, British, BBC kind of accent. But every now and again, I break back into Hampshire on occasion. Yeah, and lure as well. Like, that's another one. You would have to go, like, in the middle of that. It's not Hampshire, that's Somerset. Hampshire is kind of similar. It's not quite as rhotic as the Somerset accent, but it's similar. We're all a bunch of country bumpkins anyway. Lived in Florida for 2 years. You know where I'm from. I still drop into Americanisms in my speech sometimes. It's funny, my wife has now, because she's Californian, but she's been living in the UK for, what is it, like 8 years now, roughly? Yeah, she has started learning and kind of co-opting a lot of British isms. We were talking about the spelling of grey earlier today, because I spell grey Grey, but Americans spell grey Gray. And she started spelling it Grey now. And it's just like a byproduct of... For a start, I think because we bought her laptop from a UK supplier, it's got a UK keyboard, and it's also got a UK dictionary loaded onto it by default. So the spell check keeps correcting her on words that she would spell differently. And I feel like at a certain point she just kind of given over to that a little bit. Yeah, we need 2 more layers, I think. I also want the top layer to be black as well. So if we have to add another grey layer, we have to add another black layer. And I want to give myself a little bit of headroom in here, just in case when the texture update comes around and the new glass is a little bit clearer, just in case we need to add some more layers of glass to make it look good. I want to make sure there's space to do that. Yeah, my wife's family occasionally makes fun of her when she uses a particularly British phrase. Like, I didn't realize this at all, but apparently to say you're going to give something a go, as in you're going to try it, going to give it a go, is a really British phrase. And, yeah, whenever her dad imitates a British accent, which he does quite a lot because he's a hilarious man. I mean that sincerely. He's a very funny guy. He will say, "Give it a go." And he watches a lot of cycling as well, and so occasionally there'll be British cycling commentators that will pop up some hilarious British phrase. Like, at one point, he called us up on Skype and was like, "Can you explain the meaning of a handful of beans?" And I went, "You've just got some beans? I don't understand." And apparently in one of the races he was watching, somebody was making an attack, as in, like, cycling up from the back and trying to get to the front of the group. And the commentator said he was attacking with a handful of beans, which just meant, you know, giving it the beans is just like to go fast, right? But he said it in such a way that my father-in-law was like, "I don't understand what that means. What is a handful of beans in this context?" And so he called me up and was like, "What is a handful of beans?" And it took us ages to actually nail down what he was talking about. It's so funny though, hearing these odd little phrases pop up. All right, that is some grey stained glass for us, but I think that is all the glass that was in the smeltery, so we're probably going to have to go and get some more, aren't we? I did pick that up. Good. Never heard handful of beans before. I mean, yeah, like, it's funny because I watch the slow-mo guys on YouTube a whole lot, and they often say, like, you know, if they want to do something, like throw something really hard, or like, there's an episode where Dan was driving a car and they were doing, like, I think there's, like, water hitting a car windscreen or something, and, like, arcing over the top. And when he was saying, like, "I'm really going to put my foot down and accelerate," he said, you know, "So I'm going to give it the beans this time." And so I hear that phrase quite a lot elsewhere, but it's not one that I typically use myself. And, yeah, at the time, I just had no idea what the context was of the whole attacking with a handful of beans thing. It sounded like somebody was being assaulted, like, from the side of the track. The defendant threw some beans, my lord. Give it a go is also very Canadian. Yeah, I feel like there's some stuff that's probably going to be carried over, depending on when the slang developed and the connection that the country still has to the UK in terms of, like, English slang. There's definitely a lot of Australian slang that kind of crosses over with British, but then Australia has its own very developed set of unique slang, which is always quite fascinating to hear. Can't tell if I'm saying beans or bees. Beans with an N. I'm just a very nasal man. Beans. You can sort of say bees with an N in it if you try real hard. Vibrates the nasal passages somewhat. Did I turn on the smelter? No, I'm waiting for the sand to load in there, otherwise it doesn't fill up all of the furnaces. I tell you what I'm quite happy about, though. I started that a few blocks lower down. Didn't really calculate it at all, but I've actually, like, the coin toss was won, and I've actually managed to layer the glass up here in a way that matches what I'd already placed. Like, it goes black, grey, black, grey, black, grey, and we got to here where I'd already placed the glass, and it's already black and grey in the same pattern. Like, it was a 50-50 chance that I'd actually done that. So I don't have to break it all and start again. Whenever you imagine someone saying bean, you just aggressively imagine someone being mad at Mr. Bean. Bean! Rowan Atkinson just being like... doing his usual thing. Yeah, okay, that's now looking really good. For a while, it doesn't seem like it's going to work, but then you get a few layers in, and oh boy, that starts to look nice. I do think the top layer needs to be black, though. I think we've got one more layer left to go, and then we're done with this, which is amazing. I didn't expect it to be this quick, but then I guess if you've got all of the resources and stuff, then you just go for it. And it'll be difficult to see the floor on Twitch because Twitch is going to like have compressed some of the effect somewhat. It was like when anybody went into the Nether Hub in Hermitcraft Season 5 and you just had no idea what was going on the floor. Even after they put a ton of effort into it, apparently YouTube just compressed everybody's footage to the point where you really couldn't see what was going on. But yeah, that's looking good now. That's looking good now. I'm very happy with that. It'll look even better if you take connected textures off because of the lines in the glass disappearing. Okay, now we can switch this thing on because it will have loaded most of the sand into there. Right, I guess we're waiting for the last little... Actually, we might be able to get away with just that from the grey dye. What am I going to use for lighting? I don't know yet. I've got a few options. I've got tons of sea lanterns, so if I wanted to use sea lanterns, that would probably be a safe bet. The glow's only really going to be noticeable at night. But yeah, I do like that you can see the magma there, and it just kind of like drifts up. That's a cool effect. Hopefully you guys can see that on the stream. I know it's kind of difficult. Difficult to see sometimes. End rod's partway down for points of light. It's an effect we're going for rather than like lighting specific areas, so I don't know quite how that would work out, but we'll see. We'll give it a try. Lava would be better than sea lanterns. I think it would. I feel like it would probably give more of like a flowing mist effect, which is sort of what I'm after. These are all merrily smelting away, and we're not running out of fuel yet, which is good, because I have, like, less than a stack of fuel in there. This one at the end gets missed sometimes if I don't start the furnaces evenly. The green tea. It's not too cold, actually. It's the teapot, like, retains heat remarkably well. Black tea, a green mug. Hello, Mahi. Welcome. Good to see you. Eventually, we'll have infinite fuel. This is true. Hey, we just passed 100 people watching the stream. Thank you guys so much for coming out. If this is your first time watching one of these streams, my name is Pixel Riffs. You probably know me from the Minecraft Survival Guide if you've come over from YouTube. I stream 3 days a week here on Twitch, so please do drop a follow if you're interested in catching more of this stuff. I feel like we're going to be playing Minecraft a little bit more lately, just because I feel like I'm not getting burnt out on it, which is promising. I feel like I'm building up enough stamina for playing Minecraft fairly regularly, and we're also getting into projects that I feel like would benefit from being able to be done on stream, both so that people can see the process a little bit better and to take the pressure off me to record stuff off camera. So, yeah, I would appreciate if you guys dropped a follow if you aren't following already, and then you'll get notifications whenever I go live. I'll also keep posting this on Twitter and on YouTube as well, because that seems to at least bring some people in the door. But it is really great of you guys to show up today and support the stream. And if you happen to have just wandered in from Twitch, check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/pixelriffs, where I make a week-daily tutorial series in survival Minecraft. So rather than just the creative mode tutorials you might have seen, I do everything in survival, and the process is kind of shown a little bit more than the end result. I answered my question about not streaming Final Fantasy today. Yeah, I decided it would be fun to do a little bit of midweek Minecraft, and mainly to see how these streams go, because I get a decent audience on the weekends streaming Minecraft, but that I was trying to work out whether that was just because there were tons of people around on the weekend who wanted to watch me play, or if it was because, like, everyone's just going to turn up and watch me play Minecraft whenever. And I am very grateful that the latter seems to be the case. Like, there are lots of folks here today who are just here to hang out and watch Minecraft happen. Minecraft is also way more discoverable on Twitch, I think, than Final Fantasy is, because Final Fantasy is an old game and Minecraft is also old but current, you know? But I'm not going to drop the Final Fantasy quest just yet, because I'm having a good time with it. Just when I've got projects like this that I can work on, it's nice to have an audience for this. You can sit and watch me play Blitzball for days. Well, sadly, we're done with Blitzball, so I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to sit and watch me hunt monsters for days at this point. And probably get an awful lot of gil in the process. Yes! Now that's the stuff. Perfect. Not skipping layers for the fog effect? No, because you can double down on the amount of glass you place if you alternate two different colors, and then you can do the effect in a smaller space, meaning that I don't have to decorate all the way to the bottom of this ravine. It's a weird solution, but it works. And uses exactly the same amount of materials, just in a smaller space. How is Line Dog now? Line Dog is good. Line Dog is doing very well. As far as I can tell, anyway. You missed what happened to the pig? Yeah, it sadly wandered onto one of the magma blocks around the edge of the ravine, and I now have 3 pork chops in my inventory. It didn't even get cooked on the magma. Which is weird to me, because, like, if it was on fire, it would take fire damage and drop to cook pork chop, but if it's standing on a magma block, it doesn't take fire damage? The damage is non-elemental in nature? Look at that. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's got a very obvious two-tone thing going on with that, but no, I think this is real good. This side of the ravine seems lacking compared to the other side. Yeah, I think we are going to put in some of the magma details and stuff that I have on the opposite side. I feel like this end of the ravine, because I only decorated it today, it doesn't have the amount of detail that the other side did. Now, we don't want any of those colors. We want black. There we go. The fact that you have to... I know you can right-click and do it that way, but cycling through the different materials has made me accidentally craft fences or stained glass or terracotta or whatever a number of times, and it's a little bit of an irritation. I wonder if there's a way to resolve that somehow. Not necessarily in the game already, but if there's some feedback on a version that would work. Like, default to whichever color of ink has, like, the most dye in your inventory or something like that. Like, if I've got a stack of ink and then only 1 bone meal, I'm probably not going to want to craft a stack of stained glass using the bone meal. I don't know. It'd have to be quite a complicated thing, though. The logic behind that isn't fully fleshed out, really. What do you want me to be done for, Ben? What do you think is happening next? Can I say hello to T-Bone for you? Hello, T-Bone! What did you mean, the skeleton? I'm wondering if there's somebody in your house called T-Bone, or if you're asking to go see T-Bone, the record farm skeleton. Shout out to T-Bone. Will run for fun. New to Minecraft and found my YouTube channel just this week. Great stuff. Found a skeleton spawner and need to look up a farm. Well, there you go. Hopefully my tutorials can help you in that respect, but there are also plenty of other tutorials out there that I'm sure will prove helpful over time. We are probably about a stack of glass away from the end here, so that's good. Greetings from Switzerland. Hello, Switzerland. Found dual activated skeleton spawners in your mesa. Nice. Yeah, I think only one more stack of black stained glass will really be necessary. Let's make a little bit extra just in case, but I really didn't think there were more than 64 blocks left to cover. Your record farm skeleton was called Musician until you accidentally killed him when your base got overrun by shulkers. Nice. I quite liked Mr. Bone Jangles. I always call a skeleton that at some point, but sadly he died again, so yes. Now yes. This looks great. I'm so happy. Let's see if we can see it from up here on the mountain. I also really thought they'd got rid of that bug that kind of forces the field of view to judder like that, but apparently they did not. Yeah, there it is. The Ravine of Founder's Forge. And there should be room for machinery on either side of that, so it looks like it's being kind of excavated and people are being lowered down into the mist to try and mine out what's in there. That's the plan, at least. Now we're going to go around the outside of this and we're going to terraform a little bit more of it. We're going to add in the magma details. We're going to do some stuff with black concrete. And all of this is going to look fantastic. Going to make an old Viking stave church in your survival world tonight. Got a lot of inspiration from my build. Going to try and translate it in your build. Nice, thank you. I'm glad you get some inspiration, although I'd never tried to build a stave church before. I feel like a lot of my builds come from a place of imagination rather than a place of trying to simulate real life. And, yeah, that's typical of stuff like this, where, like, no house in the world looks like this, you know? Like, blacksmiths don't have these enormous chimneys in the middle and stuff. I like to think my stuff is a little bit cartoony, a little bit larger than life. Although I try and stick to player scale a lot of the time, so it's an interesting, like, mash of building styles, really. Hey, you've been going in and out. I've been hearing the door close. What's up?
Oh, yeah, I just pruned the rose bushes.
Oh, cool.
I could see some little fresh shoots. So
Oh, well done.
Let me trim those before things get crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Also did trim the other hedges, but I pruned some other stuff in the backyard as well.
The garden has clearly been on your mind as well, so it's good that you're getting out there and doing that.
Yeah, so I did a little bit, tiny bit. I was wearing my sandals, so I wasn't going to get down and dirty in all the damp grass that's out back. But
in the meantime, I've created a fog effect in my ravine. Check it out.
Ooh.
Like this is all like layers of stained glass, and you can't see the bottom of the ravine anymore, which is ideally what I want.
Is that what you were testing out before?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
Turned out pretty good. Chat says hi.
Hello. Hello, chat. It's super toasty in here. I also turned off the heating
Yeah.
a bit because
It's gotten warm.
Because it is not cold right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the temperature's going to be going down a bit. But
Look how little frames I've dropped.
Oh, that's good.
The internet's fixed. I think I might have improved things just by resetting the router. I've been blaming Twitch this entire time, but I think, we had that outage last night or this morning. Was it this morning?
I think it was this morning.
Yeah.
When I noticed it.
And then, it dipped, and then I just, reset the router once. And since then, it's been really consistent. So somebody fixed something, and I'm happy about it. Whether it was me or it was somebody else. Sometimes you just got to reset the router because it's on constantly. I mean, I feel like that's probably not healthy for it, but we use the internet all the time, so it's kind of the way these things happen.
Again, and I'm wearing this shirt again, and I realized I wore this the last time I popped up on stream, but I didn't put this shirt on.
Yeah, this is like
I was gonna be
it's the work shirt kind of
I
situation.
was
Yeah.
Gonna be going outside and being slightly sweaty in the garden, so I'm not just gross. I took a shower. I just decided to go outside, so I was like, well, I'm gonna put a funky shirt on.
Of course, Talismancer, of course. They're the only place I can get fiber to the house. So, yes. Yes, Virgin Media.
Live in a desert. Oh, where are you at?
Kuro, I think, lives in Israel.
Oh. Yeah, my sisters live out in New Mexico in an area where it's high desert, and it's very cold there right now.
Mm-hmm.
The highs are in the kind of 30s.
Yeah.
So it's like in Celsius, that's like 1.
Yeah. That's not much.
It's Israel. Yeah. So I imagine it's kind of got a similar climate, kind of arid. High desert area where it's like between the desert and the mountains. It can get very chilly, surprisingly chilly. People don't expect it to be that way, but
it's been very mild here the last few days.
Yeah.
And it's been very sunny, and we keep looking outside and going like, we need to do stuff in the garden.
I know. It's gonna rain, I think, over the weekend. It might change, but yeah, I figured I might as well. I was looking down into my office has a window that looks out front, and I could see the rose bushes. They've been all sad and spindly, and then I went, wait a minute, there's more growth. Oh no, okay, I need to prune them back a bit.
Now we actually have windows and everything's like nice and clear. I mean, we had windows before, but we have replaced the windows since then.
Talismancer said Virgin was fiddling with things. They said they had some downtime this morning. So.
Yeah. So that may be overall network upgrade, or at least some sort of fix. That's good.
Oh, excuse me. Matching shirts. Yeah, a little bit.
We are
Unintentionally.
Stripe Crew today. This is just a comfortable like middleweight jumper for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can sit and stream in this and not be like incredibly sweaty as a result if my computer heats up. Can you maybe open the window a little bit more though, because it's clearly like nice enough weather that I can let some fresh air into the room. I've been so used to having all the windows closed and like enjoying the insulation from the cold, but
It'll be nice. We're gonna get, I think, spring cleaning zone soonish.
yep,
Need to open up the conservatory and sweep things out a bit.
can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I guess I'll put this in here for now. Oh wait, no, we have food downstairs, don't we? There was a pig in the ravine, and I have like little magma blocks around for decoration in the walls, and we were like, ravine pig, and it was going to be like a mascot for the stream. It walked onto the magma blocks and died,
Oh, no.
and I just walked over and found 3 pork chops laying there, and I was like,
gonna say barbecue.
Yeah. It's like R.I.P. ravine pig. So
Thank you for donating the barbacoa.
yes.
We appreciate your sacrifice.
Here's Lime Dog and
Little Putko.
Joel Doggan and Lord Schmittenwarden III.
What is this fresh air you speak of? Yeah, no, we're barely getting some of that. It's been so cold that anytime you open the windows, it's like, no.
Yeah, it's nice to
And
finally be getting back to that type of weather where we can have a window open and not immediately freeze.
yeah. Yeah, Mom was all like, how is it warmer there than it is here? And I was like, climate change. And she was like, yeah. Fair enough. Stop reminding us about Wall Pig.
R.I.P. a wall pig.
Yeah, no, it's apparently a bit chilly there. It's chilly. Oh, Chris is like full of snow, basically.
Mm-hmm.
He's having some days off, so he's enjoying not having to drive in it, basically. Just hoping that it'll relent.
Yeah.
If I were being good, I'd open loads of windows and vacuum the flat.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, it's not spring cleaning time yet. It's still winter. It's just a fluke. Don't beat yourself up over that. Enjoy the sun coming through the windows if you can, because that was nice.
I'm trying to work out if I want to put
For
little.
us, at least, I was sitting in the front room going, the sunbeam.
Trying to work out if I want to put like little blocks of glass kind of creeping up the walls here and there, or if that's just going to ruin the effect. Because part of what creates this fog effect is the fact that you don't see the borders of the glass blocks all that much, and the fact that it's just like layer upon layer of flat instead of it being all blocky around the edges. So I don't know if maybe like building it up on the sides like this little offshoot of the ravine here, I wanted the fog to sit a little bit higher, but then I realized that this as a pattern there kind of looks very artificial. It doesn't really look like fog building up on the side. It's not like particulate in any way because it's all voxels.
Is there anything that you could I'm trying to think of other textures that would work.
Yeah, there's not much like in terms of this color palette in particular. You can do cool stuff with ice if you're building with blue, but this really isn't a blue environment, so I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm going to try and put light sources underneath this so it looks really cool when it gets dark. So I'm going to go grab some sea lanterns. Whoop! There we go. I just let off a rocket attached to a bunch of grass.
Oops.
Whatever happened to Ravine Pig? Sea lanterns. Lots of those, so we're good.
So organized. Good job.
Yeah. I like the labeling system here. Unfortunately, you can only do this with blocks because they will actually stick through the signs, whereas with these flat items here, then they won't. So, yeah, you can kind of label stuff. I haven't gotten around to doing that with everything, as you can tell, but that's not something that'd be fun to do on stream, so not going to worry about it now.
But yeah, I'll let you know that I did that. And there's some it's like a little basket of the cuttings that I grabbed so you can chuck them down in the compost. I didn't feel
Sure.
like waiting down there in my sandals. He would get really wet.
That's fair.
And also I picked up some of the little bits. There's some little trash bits in the grass and on the ground in the backyard.
Okay.
Not a ton, but a couple things. There was like also a little blue strip that was along the side of the wall.
Oh, right, okay.
It was like that
Yeah.
stuff from
Right.
It was just hidden behind all the other stuff, and then I went, oh, this comes in there. It's like,
Good stuff.
So I took some stuff away trash-wise, and then
All right, let's find a good place to dig down.
I'm gonna talk to the other neighbor. Just talk down.
Who, thingy from Two Doors Down?
Yeah, I can't remember his name right now.
Julian?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're so good with names.
I've never met him.
I know. I told you his name once. And this is something that you don't know necessarily about Pix. He's very, very good with names. Like he'll hear a name once and associate it, and he just knows it. I'm not bad with names. I have to take it in a few times, like repetition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm also I know where people are from, and I'm immediately rapport, banter, let's chat. You know what I mean?
Banter.
Banter. But you know what I mean? You know me. I make small talk. There's also
You
a
do.
level of I'm American. You know, we're chatty culturally.
I'm American.
Well, you know what I mean. I don't like being I'm American, but I'm also I'm from California. Yeah. We like small talk. We like chatting. We'll talk to anybody in any random situation. Whereas you're no, don't worry. Please go away. It's fine. Hello, and leave. But yeah, no, you remember everybody's name while I talk to everybody, and then I go, what's my name again?
You're like the guy with the face and the motorcycle.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Pretty sure I've seen him a bunch, but
Yeah, no, Julian.
yeah.
Yeah. He was saying he went out for a ride. He said it's beautiful weather. The roads are good quality right now, nice and grippy. And I was like, good. I'm not riding right now, but I'm glad that you've enjoyed it. But yeah, no, he popped out and just said hey. So.
You can do faces, but you're crap with names. Yeah, I feel like it's either one or the other for most people. It's difficult to be I am great with both names and faces. I remember everyone.
Yeah. I don't really forget faces very often, but I'll be oh god, the name. What was their name? We did this thing. We went here. We did that. Like a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
If I didn't hear their name repeatedly, if I heard their name once.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to remember it. I always feel bad. And I mean, sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. It really depends. I'm not trying to hide. It cuts off. I'm right
Yeah,
here.
I've moved the webcam a little bit as well, so
I'm not doing it intentionally.
so the boundary upon which that you are visible has shifted somewhat.
I am standing directly next to you, and I'm not visible. Oh, there's a cat! I don't know what cat that is.
Where?
Down there, in the neighbor's garden.
I cannot see it.
Oh my gosh. Just stand up a little bit. You can see it. Watch it.
It's an event.
Light ginger light. I've not seen that cat. Do you see it?
No. I think I've seen a light ginger one before. Is it small, quite slight? Well, I don't know. I don't know what you consider average size, but so we had two fat cats.
Rushing over. I'm okay.
Cats are an event around here. Playing on the normal survival guide world? Yes.
I went to a hedge.
Let's see how much these are visible. Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
You seen that one?
Yeah, it's kind of like a dusty ginger one.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I've definitely seen that one.
Oh.
And that's what I thought when I said quite small. That's what I meant. It's like
okay.
Chesney's sort of size
Yeah, I guess Jesse's a little bit more petite. Slender.
compared to the other ginger one, who's like a big fat lad.
Yeah, that's true. The Chungus.
For a second, you thought it was Ravine Cat. Yeah.
The cat saved us. What cat saved you? In the game?
No. No, I've tamed a couple of cats in the video about taming animals, but I left them over in the jungle for now. So they're not talking about a cat here.
Story time. What's my story? It's up there. I'm like, what was my story?
I think they just wanted you to tell some sort of story,
That's
I guess.
true.
I
We
didn't.
have had story time, that's true. Maybe they were here last time I
Took over for a bit.
Yeah,
This also looks really cool from
Yeah.
underneath. I honestly couldn't have called that, but especially when it gets dark down here, it's kind of got this atmosphere to it, which I quite like. Now I need to find a way back up to the surface. This is going to be a problem. Maybe I should get up here. I need to bring ender pearls with me when I build. I always forget to do that. Right.
Hardcore cat strangler. What does that mean? No, mames. No. No discussion of harming animals in the chat. This is Mrs. Riff's edict. I say so.
It's my edict as well.
we married? Yes.
Ooh. Yeah, see, the sea lanterns are kind of visible underneath there.
Where?
Like
Oh, I
down there.
see them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a trail of them. So I feel like sea lanterns might not be the best choice, or I might have to put them a little bit lower down, but it has a bit of a glow to it. It's not that great, though. I feel like it gives it more of like a dusty brown kind of vibe than I really want it to have.
It looks more smoggy.
Kind of. But I mean, it's kind of meant to be that smoggy sort of thing, but
I guess it looks maybe a little more organic if it's got like more of a brown kind of undertone.
Yeah. Just we have to put another layer of glass in if I want to conceal the sea lanterns, which I don't know if I want to do, really.
Makes it look like a dust storm instead of fog. Also, yeah, thank you, Paranorm. I appreciate that. Not that I'm like,
What am I working on? This.
Authoritarian about that, but
Yeah, maybe we can be a bit more sparing with the sea lanterns or place them around the edge so they're a little bit less, like, obviously in the middle. We could probably set them around the base of the glass on each side.
yeah.
And then they might be... Or build them into the walls of the ravine. That way they don't stand out quite so much. Because your eye is drawn to the center, and then there's obviously something there. Whereas if the gradient kind of hides the blocks on either side, maybe I can...
And maybe it won't give it as brown of a color if they're not directly in the center. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, the brown color will probably come from the from either side.
Yeah.
So the center might be a little darker. The center cannot hold.
I have a discussion with you about your eating habits. Honestly, fish. What's your fish in the game? Is that what you're eating?
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of fish from...
Is there a reason you shouldn't have fish?
I mean, fish is not the most efficient food, ironically. But it's...
Who has to eat efficiently?
Exactly. Ah, there's a creeper there.
Oh no!
It's right by my bed,
Rude.
waiting for me.
Very sneaky. And there's one over on the left as well. You see
I know, there's like 7 of them over there,
Oh,
it's
I
fine.
didn't even see that. Yeah, you're right. There's a bunch of them.
Get away from my bed.
Ooh.
We done got creeped.
Yeah, you don't got to be efficient with eatings. And it's cod.
Mm-hmm.
Bacalao.
It is cooked cod.
Bacalao's always nice. Not gonna complain about that. Not that it's a real thing. I mean, cod is a real thing. But I'm saying, not that you're eating it in real life.
If I fly
We
up
can
here
eat it in real life.
and then come back down, all the mobs on the ground will be despawned.
Really?
Yeah. That's how spawning works. If you get 128 blocks away from a hostile monster in this game, it automatically despawns, which is very useful for making farms. Should craft some pumpkin pies. I could do that. I'm actually going to open a bakery. I say open a bakery. I'm going to build a bakery in the town, and it's going to sell like cake and pumpkin pie and cookies and stuff like that. So I'm going to do the pumpkin pie and cake crafting and stuff in a future episode.
Fun. What will the center hold from? I have read that in English textbook before. You would have. It is a poem by Yeats. Is it called? Is it The Second Coming?
Yes.
It's The Second Coming by W.B. Yeats.
What rough beast in... What's the... Something trudges towards Bethlehem to be born is the last...
Slouches.
Yeah,
Slouches.
slouches towards Bethlehem to be born. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one that on and on in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. That whole thing.
Center cannot hold, things fall apart.
Yes.
Or something like that. And Things Fall Apart is also, this is where the title for Chinua Achebe's book, Things Fall Apart, comes from. So it's a very widely referenced poem, but like different pieces of the poem get referenced a lot.
There's a whole Batman arc written by Kevin Smith called The Widening Gyre. There's like...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's some... there's a lot of like literary references that reference that
Yeah.
in particular. Am I filling
A
in the
new
ravine?
Hosier song
With
reference.
glass.
I'm good, Black Panther. Thank you. How are you?
How much longer am I streaming for? Probably at least an hour, maybe 2. Depends when I get hungry or tired. And considering I'm eating peanut M&Ms right now, that's not happening soon.
Like, I'm energized. Protein and sugar.
Yeah. So I think we'll probably do a little bit of concrete powder, a little bit of this stuff.
What is that bird?
What bird?
That one that's like outside.
I don't know. I could not tell you. I'm not an expert on bird
wish
calls.
I knew bird songs, like their specific little calls and stuff.
My parents would know,
Yeah.
probably.
I'm sure something really like basic. It's like it's a mockingbird.
It's like a sparrow or something. You know,
A blackbird. Yeah.
sounds like somebody like tightening
Yeah,
something
it
with a
sounds
spanner,
squeaky. It's like, but like whistly.
basically. Have I tried the peanut butter M&Ms? I have. They're like a bit like Reese's Pieces,
Yeah.
but they're very good. So I think I want to do more coming out from the center like this.
How long does it take to put together a recap episode?
Oh, that's a difficult question to answer, actually, because that... Do you include, like, watch time in that? Do you include, like, the amount of time it takes us to watch all of the videos? Because that's the longest portion of it, usually. Provided we have all of our notes together and stuff, it takes us maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 if we're not concentrating as hard to write the script.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to reach.
Subtle.
I'm sorry, I've got short arms. Sorry, go on.
Right. Gonna have permission from you to continue when you're done stealing my M&Ms.
Continue.
We take 2 or 3 hours to write the scripts, depending on how hard we're concentrating at the time. It takes me maybe an extra 15 minutes after that to make sure the script is somewhat readable, because sometimes our writing gets a little bit, not sloppy, but it gets kind of rambly, and sometimes we just want to express something, we don't write it in the most concise way. So I do another quick edit for like readability and speakability, and then I record the voiceover for probably about half an hour, spend 15 minutes editing it, send it over to Zloy. So my involvement, if you don't count all of watching the videos, is done within about 4 hours. And then Zloy spends however long Zloy spends editing it, which can vary dramatically depending on what the server has been like that week. But, yeah, if you count video watching time, that can be anything between, like, 5 and 20 hours, depending on how much content the Hermits have put out this week.
You are married or is she your GF? Am I your GF?
My Guardian Force, if you play Final Fantasy VIII. That's a joke that very few people will get, but luckily some of those people are in the chat.
I am your guardian force.
You are.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds positive.
It means I can junction you to learn magic.
Sure.
No, you are my wife. Last time I checked.
Mm-hmm.
Ask again later. Depending on how much Minecraft I play on any given day.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, Blackfeather. It was nice talking to you last time as well. Nice talking to the chat in general. It was an unusual thing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't last time. It was the other weekend, I think it was. I'm sure at some point we'll do that. At some point we'll do a whatchamacallit stream.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, Stardew stream.
Yeah, we've done that from time to time. It has been known.
At some point. Are you getting the unseasonably warm weather in the Netherlands as well, or is it still cold there? Because it is very sunny and mild. Clement, I would say. Clement weather here. Unseasonably clement for February, but you know.
Let's take a quick look at this.
How it goes. Very sunny, but not very hot. See,
Yeah,
that's reasonable. I mean, not that I'm complaining about the warmth, but I'm always just like, whenever you hit this point, you're like, oh no, the planet. Oh gosh. But it's still too hot for February. Yeah, exactly. You're like, it's winter, but we might get a bit of a cold snap. I'm sure sometime in March. I think it snowed on my birthday in March last year, a little bit. So it
More magma. Yeah, we'll put more magma in here eventually.
What are you doing with the black blocks?
It's meant to look at kind of ashy and stuff. Like the energy that people are getting out of this ravine is very kind of fire based, hence all of the smoke.
Okay, and you get the magma, so you're kind of thinking like it's like solidified, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's a cool thing you can do where like if you get coral from coral reefs and you plant it like this, it dies and turns grey. And
Like
so
that one?
yeah, so
Okay.
like stuff like this, you can kind of make it look like there are bushes that are all covered in ash and stuff. Like that's kind of the idea.
Interesting.
The grey concrete powder blends very well with the cyan terracotta, so I might include a little bit more of that as well. But this has also been... This area here is going to be like a work yard where people are trying to excavate the ravine, and there's like cranes sending elevators down into the fog and things. And so this area is going to be quite kind of well-trodden and going to make some kind of trodden and muddy bits around here.
Interesting.
It's all got a vague concept behind it, but kind of making most of it up as I go, really.
It's also involved.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the last thing I built on Minecraft was. I feel like it was like that little witch hut I made.
Yeah.
Like, how many years ago was that on the Xbox?
Oh, like 5 at this point.
Yeah.
I've nearly been playing Minecraft for 5 years.
That's very weird.
Yeah.
That's very weird.
Back when it was something I just used to do, like, to unwind after work when work was getting stressful.
Yeah.
And now it is basically my job.
Remember how I
or one of them.
do caving and then I'd panic? Because I'd be like, I'm gonna die! And it would just be ridiculous. And you'd be like, no. And I'd be like, I'm just gonna go find a swamp. I will make a witch hut in a swamp.
And witch huts are an actual thing that you can find. I think we found you one at one point, and you were like, this is...
No, but like I made my own special hut.
You did.
My own special hut. Why do you sound like the Hermitcraft Reef Captain?
I've no idea who this guy is that
Why?
they keep asking me about.
Why is this? I'm gonna steal your M&Ms. You want to refill your M&Ms?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't tend to eat them as much when I'm playing Minecraft. Like in Final Fantasy, it's so easy because I can just have one hand on a controller. But like to play Minecraft and eat M&Ms, I either have to just be running in one direction, or I have to like stop playing completely to use my hands. Oh, can you switch the light on, by the way? It's getting dark in here. I don't want my green screen to act up, which it probably already has, and nobody's told me.
Better?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
There we go.
The
Hey, Harvester.
what's it called?
Hey, welcome. Good to see you.
The thing.
What thingy? I don't know what you're talking about.
Hot air balloon. It looks good.
Yeah.
I was like, what's it called? The thing in the
This-
air.
The round guy with the basket.
I'm pointing like there's like any way to differentiate what I'm pointing at. When I just pointed at a screen. Oh, it looks cool.
Mm-hmm. The basket is still a mess, but I need... It's one of those things where like I could spend ages just tinkering with that, or I could get on with what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it works for the effect, kind of like a cartoonish basket. If you want to do something that would be proportional, it'd have to be like completely different. Like the ratio of basket to envelope would have to be much different.
Mm-hmm. I expect so. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, cartoony proportions, and considering that it's got a hostile mob farm in there anyway,
Yeah.
like it's not really something I can do a great deal about.
Yeah, no, it makes sense for the purpose that it has.
I keep spoiling Wednesday's episode by looking at these buildings.
Remember that one time we saw the balloon outside?
Yeah, I know. We've seen a couple of them here, haven't we?
They don't happen super often, but sometimes they pop up.
Yeah.
It's really
People
weird.
kind of...
You hear the noise, and like I used to work for a little while, like doing like hot air balloon stuff, like long story.
Is there like terminology involved? Because you keep saying like the envelope and stuff,
The
and
envelope
like there's
is the balloon.
yeah, like it's
The
but is
fabricy part.
is like the takeoff process of a hot air balloon called something particular?
Launch.
Launch,
I
yeah,
don't know,
okay.
like,
So it's a fairly generic term that you could use for
Yeah.
elsewhere. It's not called like something real specific. Like you don't have this kind of ritual term for it or whatever.
No, you inflate the balloon. You
Uh-huh.
never say you blow up the balloon because
Well, yeah.
there's 'cause-
Blowing it up kind of implies you're using your lungs, and
Well-
that would probably kill you.
well, I mean yes and no. It's partly because it's inaccurate, and two because it's something that requires like flame and hot
Yeah,
air.
yeah.
And
You're saying blow up
you-
when it comes to flames
you
is not
don't-
good.
It's kind of like you're jinxing it kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
This is something that is a little bit.
It's a bit kind of
imprecise sometimes, and accidents do happen. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't.
you don't.
It's
It's
like saying Macbeth behind.
yeah. It's almost a superstition kind
yeah,
of thing.
You're like you don't say you blow up, that you inflate the the envelope.
Interesting.
No,
Meta was asking, do you fly or drive a balloon?
no. Oh, you fly it.
Yeah.
I believe you pilot it, you fly it. But yeah. But yeah.
Saying Macbeth doesn't
You
count.
navigate it.
Saying Macbeth doesn't count unless you're backstage, preferably during a production of Macbeth.
Yeah.
That's like the point at which it becomes quote unquote dangerous.
In German, you drive it. Interesting. Yeah, I think. I mean, I guess you could probably say you drive it. I haven't worked with balloons in a long time.
You're like the slang may have changed.
So I don't know. I'm not an expert. I was the chase crew. Like
See, that's the stuff that's interesting to me is the fact that it's called a chase crew. Like you've got that kind of that terminology
yeah,
going on.
you chase the balloon. You're the people who are on the ground who help set it up, get everybody going, and then you talk to the people, the pilot in flight with like a walkie-talkie, whatever, and you do little air tests where you just let off balloons to see where the various currents are.
Yeah, so you don't get blown off course and like
Yeah.
end up somewhere you can't land properly or whatever.
Yeah.
That's starting to look really great. That's the kind of the effect I want here, which involves placing a lot more concrete powder than I thought it would. But hey,
Yeah. But yeah, it was funny though. The reason I brought up the balloon was because I wonder if it's a seasonal thing and if we're going to see any more this year, because it was so weird. 'Cause I heard the noise of
the burner.
the burner, which has like
Yeah.
a really specific sound, and I went, "What is that sound?" And it was like I couldn't place what it was initially because it was so like out of place. Like I'd never heard that noise here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
associated with a very specific time and place, and then yeah, like I looked out the window and there's just like a hot air balloon, like just like lingering. And
You're like, they found me.
and I went, "Oh my gosh!" And like I went outside with just staring, and I was like, "That's so cool." Yeah, they're really neat.
Yeah, building one of those was just like a really convenient way of disguising the farm in the first place, so it wasn't just a floating block in the sky. I'm going to do a similar thing with the iron farm eventually. We're going to turn that into like a floating island, which is going to be kind of fun and very fantastical looking, I think.
Fun. I wonder how soul sand would look mixed in with path blocks.
Yeah, soul sand might work a little bit, but I'm not that interested in using it here. I'm trying to stick to a fairly limited set of materials. Like it'd probably go in one block here and there, but I'm trying to not think too far ahead of where I'm currently at right now. It's weird, like when ideas come up about this stuff, you're like, I bet that would look good, and then it distracts you from the task at hand, and then you don't really make as much progress because you put down whatever you're doing and you go and do something else, and then you just waste time collecting stuff. So I'm trying to stay focused on one thing at a time here.
And a balloon festival. All flew by your window. Yeah, I can imagine that'd be like, whoa. I know in Albuquerque they've got a really big. They have the fiesta, the balloon fiesta, and I never managed to go down for it because it was always when I was in university. Because it's usually in November.
Yeah.
And I was always there like around Christmas or in the summer, and so I'd always missed it. And then when I was living out there, it was through spring and summer. Like living there for like longer than just, months. So I always missed it, so I still have not gone to the hot air balloon show, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. You're like, I work for them.
I know, well, yeah, they would talk about, we're planning on going up at this time and blah, blah. And I was like, I don't get to go.
It's a shame.
It's pretty cool because it's like thousands of balloons and it
Yeah.
looks kind of
I think
crazy.
I've been to a
So,
couple of
Texas
things.
has a balloon festival.
I
That's
think
cool.
I've been to a couple of things where they did set off a ton of balloons at once. It may have been some sort of balloon festival, but I was younger and I don't really remember it all that well. I just remember there being a lot of balloons that were shaped like my favorite cartoon characters or whatever. Like there was a Sonic the Hedgehog balloon and stuff, you know, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing to see when you're not used to seeing them. 'Cause
Yeah.
they just look so odd sometimes, just kind of floating.
Yeah.
Floating in the air, and they don't move particularly quickly, so they just kind of like hover, and you're like, but not like in a way that is a lot of movement. They just are very still and very slow. It's almost eerie sometimes, but also like really, really cool. I don't know. I think they're super fun, and they are, yeah, just yes, slightly. They're not particularly conventional. You don't think of them as being like ways people travel or do anything other than just a little bit of sightseeing or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. None of that around the world in 80 days kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fun thing.
Put that in there.
It'd be cool to do anything in this area. They seem to be around. I don't know where
Yeah.
they tend to be located.
I feel like we've traded those occasionally appearing for when we used to live a little bit further down the coast and we'd see all of the paragliders and stuff.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people paragliding, and there are even some people like with paragliders and those kind of like little ride-in carts with the fans on the back that you could kind
like
of
an ultralight kind of
yeah, that kind of thing where you could control it a little bit more, and you were sort of more flying it than anything.
Yeah.
Saw a couple of those on my rides into work sometimes.
It's fun. I get you to see my shoulder.
Hmm.
And like half of my shoulder. It's like
Be fun to swap out the bottom 3 blocks of this for like acacia wood, because it's all grey and it looked like the ash is built up around the outside.
bye. Good luck on your final, Amerigod.
Enjoy. Do well.
And bye, Black Feather. See y'all around.
You're like leaning on my chair and it's like rotating me slowly.
Slowly turning you away. I'm sorry. I shall let you get back to it. I'll stop hovering like a weirdo.
Alright.
Wanted to come in mostly to let you know that I had done some work in the garden.
Yeah.
And I always get curious as to what you're doing for it.
Turning trees different colours. For the most part.
Why is that different colors?
Because I thought it'd be fun for the ash to kind of coat the bark of the tree.
I see. Okay.
I just said that and you ignored it.
No, I'm sorry. I was spacing out.
Do you want the last M&M?
No. It's
Okay.
all good.
Alright.
Sorry. I was being slightly spacey.
Hmm.
Was looking at chat. Anyway. Love you.
Stop pulling focus, chat. She's going to like you more than me. From what country is my wife? My wife is from America. More specifically, California. Is there a way to turn leaves grey? Not in this version. In Bedrock Minecraft, leaves will turn white in snow. So if you actually put snow layers on leaves, I think they do still turn white. That's definitely looking more like how I wanted it. That's good. That's good. Finally having enough black concrete powder to do anything is great. Okay. How are you guys doing? Sorry I haven't really been able to read the chat, but I figured Kay was doing that while I was just getting on with things here. More stone? Nah. No, I don't care for stone right now. Fantasy ravines do not need stone. Scars you dead coral for the effect of dead leaves. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I like the transparency that you get with leaves, though. Coral fans are transparent. I guess if you kind of span them on a block and stuff, then that sort of makes sense. Yeah, we'll go through with grey concrete powder in a bit. I just want to get rid of all of this black stuff first. And, like, we've only done less than half of the ravine on this side. I still have to do the other side with the black concrete powder as well. So, we'll get to it eventually. For a slightly more stony, ashy effect. Do I want to make a bridge over the ravine? There's a couple of things I want to do with this, actually. I think it might not be like a bridge so much as a support structure for like a giant crane. If you imagine those kind of cranes that you see them loading stuff onto shipping containers at the docks. They have kind of like a structure where there's two giant girders and then it's suspended between the two of them and it's like a thing that can run on tracks back and forth. It's kind of the thing I'm imagining, but we'll see if we can make it work. The technological side of this place is a thing I'm still sort of figuring out right now. So we will get to that eventually, but I'm not sweating it right now. I don't look at all like I sound. It's funny because some people think I look exactly like they imagined, so it varies for different people, I guess. I'm glad you like the survival guide. And thank you for coming to check out today's stream. I appreciate you being here. Spoilers for Thursday's episode. Need to grab screenshots from the two towers. Yeah, that's part of what this area was inspired by, was Isengard, but in a much less, like, malicious, we are growing Uruk-hai here kind of way, and more just in terms of, like, the industry and the sort of the fact that there is this giant rift in the ground out of which they are mining some sort of weird material, I guess. One thing I cannot stand is seeing, like, the edges of dirt blocks through the side of path blocks like that. It's something that I really need to get rid of for my own peace of mind. Although just doing stuff like that looks reasonable. 1800s Industrial Revolution, kind of-ish. Hey, Matco. Should also try my best to read some of the follows that we've got. Fag1 Ren, Insulana, Bolivar SN, Meto, Unlucky Munchkin, Twisted Queen, Seb, Amerigod, I Hooded Mask, Driag, Jack, Titan. I'm going to say Faney Poika. J's in other languages are always a little confusing. Mr. Top Fortnite, Crixoxig, or Creoxig, and Jamie KC. Thank you guys for the follows. Sorry if I mispronounced any of those names. A second attempt will not be made. Who has the time? But thank you for the follows. I appreciate you guys showing support on today's stream. Spending your Tuesday with me. Okay, so around here, this is sort of the area where the castle is going to be. We've got a decent area to work with here. I feel like it might take up bits of the mountains to either side as well. But the blacksmith is going to be quite close to the castle. Build some drills. Yeah, that kind of thing. Permanent Meto. Okay, fine. As you will. Castle should be on a mountain. No, not really. Like, you can put a castle anywhere. Like, in terms of historically speaking, yeah, they were probably mostly on mountains because they're better defended, but I don't feel the need to stick to that when it comes to this world. This world is not based at all in any kind of historically accurate context. Like, the idea for this world is that it's not trying to simulate real life. It's a cartoon, if you will. It's just doing its own thing in Minecraft. It doesn't have to have lore that is consistent with our world. So while people may have built castles in hilly and defended positions, I am not planning on doing that necessarily. It's a fantasy thing, yeah. I do like having shovel in one hand and concrete powder in the other and being able to do path blocks as I go, but occasionally it just means placing one of those where I mean to place some concrete powder. Let's do the patented mumbo jumbo, turn around and look at it from a distance. Yes. Yes, okay, good, good, good. This is turning out very nice. And I really do like it. Castles were built in all kinds of terrain. Yeah, usually it's either mountains or rivers. And it's mountains because those were difficult to invade, and it's rivers because you could control trade from there. Whereas this one is going to be sat at the edge of this giant ravine because the people in the castle want to look down the ravine and see all of the stuff that is happening. Effectively, they own the ravine, kind of. And they don't really want people to mess with it. Elkhorn with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much for subscribing. I feel like that's the first time it's popped up and it hasn't been a Twitch Prime. Which is why it's only saying tier 1 and not like a resub. Nobody14 just started binge watching YouTube tutorials. Must say that I enjoy them immensely. Thank you. Spoilers for Thursday's episode. I've been saying that a couple of times. Also, spoilers for Wednesday if we look over there too closely, but let's not. It's also control of a power source. Yeah, that kind of thing. That's the essence of it. You got it. Just avoid any Made in Abyss references. No, that's that's one of the things I was thinking about when I started building this thing in the first place. I haven't seen much of Made in Abyss, but I heard it gets kind of brutal, so yeah. A few very sparingly used blocks of black concrete. Maybe. I feel like right now I don't have any black concrete without converting it, and I don't want to convert it like block by block here because I'll just end up pouring water over the whole thing. I appreciate the suggestions and stuff in the chat, and if I don't act on them right away, it's either because I've decided against it or because I don't want to lose focus with what I'm currently doing. But yeah, we already have like concrete powder and cobblestone and magma blocks and stuff mixed in over there, so there is room for a little bit of it to be retextured here and there. I just need to get some of this stuff done first. I'm looking for the overall effect at the end of the day. I'm looking to make this look good from the air because I'm not really going to be, realistically speaking, spending a huge amount of time just around the side of the ravine looking at the individual blocks. The goal is for when I fly over this thing with Elytra to be able to look down and go, yeah, that looks dope, and then carry on with my day. Did I ever do anything else with the cruise ship, creeper farm, and DV? I can't remember if I showed the lifeboats in my last episode, but that was, like, as far as I got with it. I started building some kind of upper deck to it, and I'm not very good at designing that stuff when I don't have a lot of research and a lot of time for it, and at the same time, I was starting to see an increase in interest in Minecraft Survival Guide, so I ended up pursuing that instead, really. In an ideal world, I would have enough time to go back to DV and finish that build, but I feel like ultimately it is going to remain woefully unfinished. I don't know if the server still plans to update for 1.14, or they plan to update, but I don't know if they plan to keep the same server. Last I heard, a few people were thinking it would be a good thing to stay on that world to update for 1.14, just so people didn't lose their progress, and considering that 1.14 isn't going to bring a huge amount of, like, additional biomes to explore or content that you need to be close to specific biomes in order to use, it might possibly be possible to continue that world. Will that include retexturing the walls of the ravine so it's not all cyan terracotta? Over here, probably. Like, I'm probably going to try and do some more stuff like we did over there. But I like how smooth the terracotta is. It doesn't feel like natural Minecraft, which is sort of the point here. Like, there's this meta thing that I'm doing where you expect a ravine to look a certain way, and this ravine immediately catches your eye because that's not stone. So I'm probably going to do a bit more texturing like I've done down here, so that there's bits of concrete powder and other materials mixed in, but I don't plan on mixing in too much other stuff. It is kind of fun not being able to, like, use the path block thing on certain grass blocks because they've got tall grass growing on them, so it naturally wants to place a black concrete there. That sort of makes more sense to me. Useful mechanic right there. Mindjamo, survival guide videos on YouTube are great. Thank you. I'm glad you like them. Put a lot of effort into this series, so it is always very nice to hear when people enjoy it. How does obsidian look next to black concrete powder? Probably, yeah, like the purple will show up a lot. What am I building? This is a ravine that is in the center of a town I'm building. And around the outside of it, there is this kind of deposit of ash where... Oh, the glass rendering is a little bit weird there. But yeah, this ravine has kind of a fog effect that we've put in. Ignore the sea lanterns for now, we're going to move those. And yeah, the idea is that this is kind of a source of power for the entire place. There's kind of magma and stuff. The implication is that there's a lot of heat being generated by this ravine. And they're studying it and mining the walls out of it and trying to figure out how to harness its power for industry in this area, for, like, powering machinery and stuff like that. It's going to be a fantasy industrial town. Fog looks dope. Thank you. Yeah, it's not my idea originally, but it is an effect I've used a couple of times, and I think it always looks great. I'm going to do my best to credit the original Reddit post that I found that fog effect in, because I feel like a lot of people have started using it since that post came about. My Minecraft knowledge is stunning. Thank you. I don't know everything about this game by a long shot, but the fact that I know enough to make a series like this is something that I'm quite proud of, ultimately. When you watch the first episode and seeing how far I am right now, yeah, no, there's been a lot of progress since then. Oh, there we go. Run out of concrete powder again. We have... I'm not sure if this is going to be, like, just about enough to make it all the way around the outside, but we've got this little nick here and then back around this side, and I've got basically 3 stacks left. So I might need to make a bit more concrete powder, which will mean going to get more sand, actually, because I do not have much sand left. How many years have I been playing Minecraft? Coming up on 5. I started on the Xbox 360 version. So it felt like I was playing Minecraft version 1.3 if it came to if you want to compare it to like the Java editions, because that version of Minecraft on the Xbox 360 did not have horses, it did not have wither skeletons and the wither. There was a lot of stuff in that was kind of not quite developed as much as the Java version was. The Java version at the time was the PC version, really. And so, yeah, since then, I joined Java Minecraft in 1.8, to which people used to say, oh, beta 1.8? I said, no, full release 1.8. So I ended up playing around the time that, like, Ocean Temples and Guardians and Rabbits and Banners and stuff was added. And I've been playing Java Minecraft ever since. My pillar with torches idea got you the first set of blaze rods. The Scumpus, yes, first invented, implemented by, or maybe trademarked by Skizzleman, who plays Naked and Scared with Impulse SV. I say plays Naked and Scared, that's their series together. Have I got children? No. So glad I host Hermitcraft Recap. My voice is so relaxing. I'm glad. A lot of people have said that I sound like a Minecraft Bob Ross, which obviously, like, accent-wise, I'm nothing like him, but I'm glad that people get a little bit of calm out of it. I feel like calm is something we need a lot of lately, considering how fraught the world is in general, how everybody is very tense about various things, and I'm tense about various things too, but it's nice to find a safe haven in video games and that kind of stuff. Release a guided meditation app. Wouldn't know the first thing about any of that. You're walking through a forest. There are no bears. It's fine. No, it wouldn't work. If not for YouTube and Twitch, what would I see myself doing? Well, I have a part-time job outside of YouTube and Twitch where I make video tutorials for a software company who I won't name here because I kind of prefer to keep my work life and my gaming content life separate, but yeah, I'd probably be working for them. I like video making and video production, so it's kind of fun to do that. And in fact, with YouTube and all of the stuff that I do now, it's kind of given me a foundation that I feel like I can be more confident in applying to do jobs like that. It wasn't initially a job where I had video production as part of it, but then I said, hey, I've been doing some video production on the side. How about I help you guys make tutorials for your products? And they were kind enough to give me a shot, and we've been doing that for a little while now. The lack of bears is very calming. Usually, yes. Then again, somebody might need the comfort of a teddy bear, in which case they're out of luck. But yeah, I've had a few jobs over the many years that I've not been a YouTube guy, so I feel like I could do any number of things if I put my mind to it. I'm just very happy to be doing what I'm doing right now. I think we're going to replace a lot of this over here with the black concrete. I think we need to get a decent patch of it, because a lot of this is just individual little rivulets and stuff, and I feel like we need to expand into a big patch of it that's piled up on one side. And then it can extend out here and there. And it's going to lend itself to more of the stuff like the breach we have in the path over here, where there's black concrete around the magma, and the magma is kind of crossing the path at various points. Like, the thing about that so far is that I've placed the magma so it's out of the way, so as to be convenient. In reality, it wouldn't work like that at all. Like, it would be tripping everybody up on their daily routine. And so, yeah, I've done it so that I don't walk around taking damage and burning my feet, but, like, the actual natural forces that have produced this effect aren't going to care about that stuff. They're not doing this for your convenience. They're doing this because, I don't know, volcanoes or something. Whatever is causing this, I don't know. I don't know what it might be. How old am I? I look between 15 and 40. Excellent averages. I am 31. Your guess was 24. You guessed wrong. I feel like I probably dress like I'm 24 most days, but then how does a 30-year-old dress in 2019 anyway? I'm going to be 32 this year. Would it be a glacial drift or something tectonic to create a ravine? I mean, technically speaking, in the real world, it's like glaciers and water that erode ravines in the landscape for the most part, like canyons and stuff. It's also wind erosion over centuries. And, yeah, it is less likely that tectonic movement is going to be creating something like this unless it counts as more like a fissure than a ravine. But yeah, it's a fantasy ravine, so it doesn't matter. It's my view on the subject. Sinkhole style. Yeah, that kind of thing. It's created by my imagination, not by any kind of actual forces, so... In fact, the ravine itself was created by procedural generation. It's nothing to do with me. It was there when I got here. I'm just giving it a purpose. Giving it a story. Egg. No chicken for you. My imagination is a force of nature. Trying to be, man. Trying to be. That was a deep statement. I'm full of those. The day after tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your life. That's a Bill Bailey joke where he says the day after tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your life. That way you've always got a couple of days in hand, which I quite like. Yeah, we're going to have to do it. There we go. There's a couple of those areas where the dirt pokes through, and I'm like, I'm going to waste another block of black concrete powder on a place where you can only see one line of pixels of the stuff. Thank you. A lot of people have been saying my voice is soothing on this stream. If I considered doing gaming as my main job, I would if YouTube ad revenue was a more stable source of income, but right now YouTube is going through some stuff, and I don't fully trust it to remain stable. And the most important thing in my life is that I remain stable so that I can provide for myself and my wife. Luckily, I'm in a position where I have a part-time job that I can rely on and still have plenty of time to do what I do here because I'm, working from home. So that gives me the freedom of what I'm doing to set my own hours for that stuff and produce video content for you guys at the same time. It's a balancing act. It's always been a bit of a juggle. YouTube is always going through stuff, right? And yeah, right now my income through YouTube, while it's more than I ever thought possible, is still not like high enough to ever convince me that I could do this full time quite yet. Give me time though. Also, give me a few more 1,000 subscribers, please. It's fun. If things continue to proceed the way they are, I might actually hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube before my birthday. I don't think they will, because lately my YouTube growth has been boosted by a couple of videos just getting to the homepage and getting like a little bit more attention than usual, which is not something I can rely on as at all common. But a lot of people are still finding the Minecraft Survival Guide, and it's like, I get a lot of comments saying, this is the first time I've watched these videos, how do you not have way more subscribers? Which is always very generous of people to say. And I think, yeah, if I continue to grow like 10,000 subscribers a month, which seems ludicrous, but that's kind of what's been happening lately, then I could get to silver play button status before my birthday, which would be insane. And I'm not counting on it by any stretch. And in the grand scheme of things, that amount of subscribers means nothing. It's about views and being consistent with uploads and that kind of stuff. But it's a nice thought. It'd be an amazing achievement in itself. That's what it's about, really. It's like gamifying this stuff. It's about achievements and numbers and things like that. When Zloy sends the recap scripts, are they word for word? We work on the recap scripts together, so it's not like he sends me them anymore. That's how it used to be when we started in Season 4, but now we write the script in a voice call on Google Docs. It's like a 50-50 workflow. We both contribute to the script more or less evenly. He kind of has the final word on stuff editorially, because he will I'll start typing something and then he'll be like, no, that needs to be rewritten, and he'll kind of correct it and send a sentence in a different direction. A lot of the time I get stuck in a rut verbally when it comes to writing sentences, and so everything will start with meanwhile or although, and yeah, he's quick to notice when stuff like that happens, when we get stuck verbally into a pattern and we need to break it. But anyway, yeah, we both write the script evenly, and it's not improvised in the slightest. Everything is written down word for word, including there are bits that you'll notice he's written this stuff in lately when I'll talk to him off camera, like the one where he wrote the seashells on the seashore tongue twister into it, and there's a bit where I turn off and I say, Zloy, I'm a native English speaker, you'll need to write much harder tongue twisters if you want to trip me up. And that was written in the script by him. I didn't even suggest that. He was like, I'm just going to write this in, and then you're going to pretend like you're reacting to it. And that's not like us trying to mislead people in any way, but it's just something he thought would be funny. And it's also kind of him showing off the fact that he knows what might trip up a native English speaker in a way, because obviously being Russian, English is his like second or third language, because he speaks German as well as Russian. And I think he speaks German perhaps more confidently than he does English. But yeah, it's one of those situations where he will write that stuff in rather than it being something like improv on the spot. I could do stuff like that, but it would take me multiple takes. And considering we're not like doing it live, I record the voiceover before I ever send it to him for the edit. There's very little need for improv when the scripts are concerned. All right, we have more or less surrounded this ravine in black concrete. Let's take a look. I think this is looking really good now. It's pretty cool. It needs a lot more stuff around it, because right now it's just all these green fields and then this massive scar in the landscape. Whoa, okay. Bit of frame droppage there. What on earth? What was I loading in at that point? Maybe it's because I'm drifting in and out of like the range of the mob farm or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I think that is looking pretty good, guys. That is most of what I wanted to do on this stream anyway. We've got even more done than I expected to, so I'm happy about that. And I can tinker with it a little bit more. We'll place some more like grey concrete powder, mix that stuff in. Oh, I fell through the bed again. Was that tired? Freddy Krueger's got me. But I think we'll do some of that stuff another time. I feel like I'm done with this project for now. I don't want to get burnt out on the ravine. I need to unwind slightly. So what can we do? What can we do at this point? That's the question. I don't really have any tools I need to repair, so we don't need to worry too much about the XP side of things, or we could go to the Guardian farm otherwise. Let's drop some of this stuff off in the storage system. How random are woodland mansions? What, in terms of the layout or how you find them? Because there are a lot of different rooms that it's possible to find. Like, I didn't even have most of the rooms it's possible to find in a woodland mansion when I raided that one. Like, people in the comments of that episode all said, you know, there's a secret room and you've missed that, and like, it just wasn't in there. I'm pretty confident it wasn't in there. I might go back to that one at some point just to check, because people have got me paranoid now. But I am fairly confident that there wasn't a secret room in that mansion. Yeah, we're going to do the sea lanterns around the outside. I'm going to keep these shulker boxes on me so I remember that we're doing that at some point. We'll put this one away. Hey, Cosmic, just joined the stream after getting home from work to see your name on the screen. Yes, I've been tinkering around with the Twitch layout a little bit, and I've got these overlays now, which I might still tinker with a little bit more, but it's kind of fun to have stuff like that on the screen and have a more permanent on-the-screen thanks for the people who've supported the stream recently. So we've got a latest tip, latest subscriber, and a cheerleader up there on the screen. Joel has been talking to me about stream labels and how good it is, so I had a look through Streamlabs OBS and found that there is a stream label function just built in, which I'm very happy about. Meant a lot less tinkering around with third-party apps and stuff. Love how cyan terracotta and cyan dye match colors. Yeah, they're not the most similar of things, but then you've got to include the orange into the equation. Your seed spot on your current world was 1,700 blocks from an ocean. Even the nether, it's a haul to go back and forth. Yeah, that stuff is really weird. This place isn't all that far from an ocean, but considering that this is the update Aquatic and I spawned this world in 1.13, it was disappointing quite how far away from an ocean I was. So we had to go quite a distance before I even started getting into the ocean content of the world. I've decided I'm basically always going to keep this sugarcane farm, this little like manual sugarcane farm thing here. Just because occasionally all you need is like a handful of paper. What GPU and CPU do I have? These ones. I have a GTX 1080 Ti and, yeah, an i7. I did not build this PC myself. I ordered it from a company here in the UK called Chill Blast, who are very competent, very good PC manufacturers. They also provided PCs. They sponsor people like Mumbo, Grian, Python, like a lot of the prominent like Minecraft bods. The Yogscast as well. I think they've got a deal with them. Ujal, hello, welcome. Glad you could make it to the stream. How is your day going? The baby chick, I know. He's going to be our little mascot for the time being. Until we put a magma block down and he dies like Ravine Pig. R.I.P. Ravine Pig. Except when they send you the wrong product. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah, they did send me the wrong PC at one point, but they were also very good at turning that around and getting it sorted, so I cannot thank them enough for their support, and they were very generous in refunding me a little bit of the like the labor costs and stuff that it took to build the PC in the first place for the inconvenience, you know? Again, reminding you about Ravine Pig. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's go back over to the Guardian farm, actually. I didn't necessarily want to do this right away. Check my Elytra, because every now and then I just run real low on durability, and it takes me by surprise. Let's get going on with the day. Hey, no worries. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by the stream. I appreciate it. I'm planning on any typical castle rooms in the Nether. I'm actually probably going to redesign the Nether hub. Like, I started off with the castle idea, but I think it's going to end up looking something different, because the places I want to go in the Nether are so distant a lot of the time that I'm finding it, like, the castle layout just isn't really going to work for it. So I'm thinking about doing something completely different with the Nether in general. I've got a ton of crystals over here, a ton of cooked fish over here, which I'll grab a little bit more of. And these two furnaces both have coal in, so I'll take those down with me. When do I plan on finishing this stream? Probably in the next, like, half hour to an hour. I've done all of the stuff I wanted to do. I'm just trying to think if there's anything we can do quickly now that will make sense. Ice under the carpets for fast travel. Yeah, I mean, I plan on building some ice roads and stuff as well, but that's part of what's making me think I need to redesign the castle, is that it's not going to be the best layout for long distance travel. Like, I could build a massive castle here. I would still have to leave it every time I wanted to go to the Guardian farm. Hey, Danny. Welcome along. Thank you for checking out the stream. I appreciate it. Glad you like the YouTube videos. You'll be familiar with this world if you've been watching the survival guide. What is my most advanced redstone project to date? It depends. I don't really do redstone stuff all that much. I do farms, but those don't always include a vast amount of redstone. You know? Like, I'm not the kind of person to build, like, vast redstone contraptions and, like, 7-segment LED display type things the way folks like Mumbo and Doc do. Like, in terms of redstone in this world, it's relatively slim. I feel like the most advanced thing I've done with redstone so far has probably been the mob farm, and that's just a hopper clock turning some dispensers on and off, you know? Like, I don't necessarily see... I see redstone as a means to an end more than, like, a fuel for creativity. I tend to get my creativity out of building rather than out of designing redstone gadgets to do stuff. I mean, I have an auto smelter, I have a mob farm, I have... Like, I've built creeper farms and stuff before, but even those aren't particularly advanced. I feel like my most advanced piece of redstone in this world is a pressure plate opening a door. It's really all it is. Again, spoilers for Wednesday. Oh no. We'll be seeing that in about 18 hours. When the stream ends, you're going to go and watch today's episode of the Survival Guide. Enjoy your flying lesson. I'm going to leave these shulker boxes around the ravine because we do need to use the magma blocks and probably the sea lantern one as well. I'll put those here so I don't miss them. They blend in perfectly. That one doesn't though, so that's fine. And the ink sacks here. Yeah, we won't need any more glass for the bottom of this. As far as I'm concerned, that is done. You're going to decorate more of the industrial district at some point, yeah. I don't think we're going to do that today. In fact, yeah, I feel like I might actually call the stream now. The main reason being I don't want to start anything that I haven't introduced on videos already. And I feel like otherwise I'm going to end up starting a project and then having to recap it and people will think that they've really missed out. Oh, I tell you what we could do. We could take a bunch of shulker boxes and we can go get more sand. We need to replenish that supply of sand. How many empties do we have here? There's 4. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll just do a bit of mindless mining and we can stay and chat for a little while longer. You only go as far with redstone as you need for the resources to do building and make things easier. Yeah, that's it for me, really. I imagine I will get into other projects in time, but for right now, I don't really have much of a need for that stuff yet. We have this box full of ink in there now. So yeah, I'll go out to the desert. We'll do a little bit of sand mining. I'll bring a bed with me as well this time. Although, ironically, because we're going out to the desert, I actually need to go and get myself a drink. So bear with me, folks. Thank you again, everyone who's supported the stream so far, anyone who's dropped a follow. If you haven't been following already, then please do, because you'll get notified about when I stream regularly. I'm just going to go and grab myself a glass of water, and I will be right back. Oh, I didn't unmute myself. Let's go to a desert. Either I didn't mute myself the first time around, or I muted myself and didn't unmute myself. Not sure how that works. Well, I have to say I'm very happy with how the stream has been performing today. We only dropped frames twice, and I think that was my computer's fault more than the internet's. So, good. I also don't have much fireworks left, so we'll probably just walk gently to and from the desert. It takes so long. I built this entire walkway and then immediately got impatient and got some elytra. Funtime Chair Facts will return at the next scheduled break. Joke's on you, I don't schedule my breaks. I take them when I feel like it. Sorry, my microphone arm is incredibly creaky now. Gareth, you've been watching the series on YouTube and you love it. It's got you back into Minecraft. Good, glad to hear it. Welcome back to this wonderful game where we run through netherrack tunnels forever. My melon and pumpkin farm doesn't work in Minecraft Pocket Edition. Never said it did. Java survival guide. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude about it or anything. I find it funny when folks tell me stuff like that because I know it doesn't work in Minecraft Pocket Edition. Very few things that you build in Java does. What? Okay, I'm running over lava right now, Cosmic Dancer. You can't do this to me. What now? I'm sorry. What? Cosmic Dancer with a huge donation. Seriously. I don't know what that translates to in pounds. I feel silly even reading this out. Got some really good news about a job today. Excellent. Wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that everything's working out for you. Wanted to spread some positivity somewhere else. Thank you for all that you do with the spawn chunks and content that has really helped keep up my spirits during a difficult time. I am so happy, and thank you so much. That's absurdly generous. My wife's coming in like, what's happened? $265.04. The 4 cents made all the difference. No, thank you so much, Cosmic Dancer. It's been incredible having you as part of this community. You're an incredibly generous soul, and obviously, like, I can't say enough to thank you for that. That's incredible. Also, well done for owning both sides of my display, and also, kind of kind of overrunning the side of the overlay up there. Can we have some more hype in the chat for Cosmic Dancer, folks? Any kind of the Twitch love emotes, whatever you got. Like, show some love in the chat, because that was incredible. Thank you so much. Why are we in a desert temple? Because desert. I need sand. I'm here to mine sand. That's right, get some hype. all the hypes you can possibly give. I want Nightbot to time you all out for spamming emotes. Good lord, thank you. Dr. Dagger with a single franc a Z-bit, thank you. Cosmic Dancer, wielder of the power cosmic. That incredibly generous donation. I honestly don't know what to say at this point. I'm just here digging sand. But we needed more sand. The bunnies won't mind. I need to do an episode of one of these days about Easter eggs. and like name tagging animals to do fun stuff with them. Turn them upside down and whatnot. We need to name tag a bunny Toast. All the hype. All the hype in the chat. Have I got the How Did We Get Here advancement? I have not. I'm probably going to do an episode about that at some point, but that involves bringing a shulker back from the end, or bringing a wither skeleton to the end. There's a lot of stuff that has to go into that, and it's a bit tricky. Do that episode on April Fool's Day. Not a bad idea, actually. I like that as a suggestion. I didn't bring a bed with me, did I? I did not. Well, guess we're going to fight some stuff. I feel like the pixel flip emote is mainly getting used for for other moments. But then again, I rarely get mad, so I feel like it's justified in other ways. Mention Toast as you pass the rabbit hutch in your base. Hey, Curious Cat, welcome along. I am digging some sand right now because we just spent basically all the sand I have coating my ravine in glass and concrete powder. So we are back at the desert replenishing our supplies of sand should we need it for anything else. And also resetting the Minecraft soundtrack so that we don't get content ID'd for a Beethoven concerto, which is the thing that plays after the Minecraft soundtrack. Do I post my streams to YouTube? Yes. The VOD's channel, Pixel VODs, which one of the mods has just dropped a link to in the chat. I think that was Talismancer. So yeah, if you miss any of the streams, even the Final Fantasy ones, you can catch them there. The last couple have been really bad because of the frame dropping issues, but thankfully today we should have none of that. So this one should be a little bit more watchable than the last one. Although it wasn't terrible, it was just like occasional dips in the consistency of the stream, so it's like it'll freeze for like a half a second and then be back. So it's not all bad, but it just the kind of stuff that would be really distracting if it was uploaded as an actual YouTube video, you know? Not the kind of thing that I like to make, anyway. Wow, the husks. For real, though. I think what I'm going to do, actually, is go and mine sand from up there on that hill, because I have a real hard time finding this desert temple when I'm flying back to it from the jungle or the mesa. You bob and weave. Serpentine. Get them skeletons out of here. Planning to continue with Skyblock at some point? Pema asks. Probably not with Sky Factory, no. I mean, at some point in future, maybe, but I'm pretty sure Sky Factory 4 is coming out fairly soon, or is out already. But, yeah, with Sky Factory 3, I knew a bit more about what I was doing this time, but the main reason I was doing that was because it also generated YouTube content. It was like, I could make time lapses and so forth. And doing stuff with replay mod actually takes a lot of time. It's nice to be able to record the time-lapse footage that way. Definitely takes, like, your mind off of it a little bit, but then, like, not being able to use my computer for hours because it's rendering footage, I don't know, it just becomes a bit of a drain on my time. And I wasn't enjoying Sky Factory as much as I expected to. I think maybe because I sort of knew what I was doing. Like, I get to a point where I don't feel like I have that many objectives, even though I clearly do have a lot of objectives. I get to a point where I know a bunch of stuff and then I suddenly know nothing, and it's a bit jarring for me. But modded has never really been my jam. Like, it's something that I play every now and again, and sometimes I can get really involved in it, but I always just come back to vanilla. Vanilla is just it for me. This is it, chief, as the young'uns say. I've had a few more follows since the last time I checked in. Danny, the Dark Knighton, Ujal, I think I mentioned, Overwatch fan, S. Sluder, Casey, Utkarshi, or Karshi. We had Dr. Dagger with the 1-bit and the follow, Queen Zenobia, and then Kawina. Thank you guys for the follows. Appreciate you checking out today's stream. Thank you for dropping by. Keep bouncing between modded and vanilla. Yeah, it's one of those things where a lot of the time people will get tired of the vanilla game and will just go back to modded, and sometimes the vanilla game updates and then people feel like it's got a bunch of new stuff to explore, but then they go back to modded because there's always new stuff in modded. And I find more often than not, modded folks are people who've been around vanilla Minecraft for longer, and they've been around the block, they know what vanilla Minecraft is. I still feel like I'm learning so much about vanilla Minecraft, which is weird that I'm making a tutorial thing when I still have so much to learn. But it's true, like, I feel like for folks like Biffa, to give you an example, like, he always comes back to vanilla for a while, but then realizes that modded is where his head is at. I'm kind of the opposite of that. I go to modded occasionally and think, oh yeah, this is fresh and new and exciting, and then I go, but I know vanilla like the back of my hand, and it just feels more accessible to me so much of the time. Modded has gotten better at that, though. I feel like a lot more modded mod packs and mods in general are just providing in-game resources for the mods instead of you having to, like, read up on a wiki what you need to do. Industrial Craft was like that for me. When I was learning a bit of that in decidedly Neapolitan Season 2, I think it was when I was getting into Industrial Craft, like, there were no in-game resources that were really good at teaching you that stuff. You had to learn it from, like, the wiki that was like, okay, so first you make wire, you get copper, you make wire, and then you make a wire cutter that does this stuff for you, and then you start to get into the machines from there. But lately a lot of, it's either a quest book that kind of gives you a progression to work from, and then you just use JEI to figure out what on earth you need to build. Or the mods themselves have some sort of, like, at least an instruction manual in-game. Something like the Tinker's Construct Materials and U-Book, or whatever the guide is that you get to immersive engineering. Or the Botania book. Like, it kind of, it all makes sense if there is a guidebook telling you at least what your first steps should be. As somebody who doesn't immediately think of modded solutions to vanilla problems, like, I need to smelt some stuff, I don't go, well, I need to get the most ore out of my ore blocks as possible. I need to get the most iron ingots I can possibly smelt out of a single iron ore block. I go, no, I'll make a furnace. And yeah, I spent all of my early days of vanilla Minecraft looking up stuff on the Minecraft wiki. So I can see that that's a similar kind of line of thinking, but at least the Minecraft wiki is finite to a certain extent. That's the thing. Like, there's only a certain amount of it that's in the game. The Minecraft wiki is also much better written than the Industrial Craft wiki was. It has much better resources to get you going. And the Minecraft itself doesn't have any kind of progression aside from, like, you get diamond stuff and then you beat the dragon. Compared to, like, the Industrial Craft wiki basically told you how to play the game, rather than, like, telling you what stuff did, and then you can choose how they play the game from that point onwards. And yeah, now Minecraft has the recipe book and advancements kind of guide you through the progression of the game, but everybody plays vanilla Minecraft for the most part, so it's fairly common knowledge. It's almost like pop culture knowledge to know what Minecraft is and how some of it works now. At least, you know, in the community I'm used to. It feels a lot more intuitive. I don't know. I'm not describing this particularly well, again, because modded is something that I don't have a great deal of experience with, and so I can only equate it to my own experience with vanilla, but there's just, yeah, there's something different about vanilla. Like, you can just explore it and figure stuff out. Whereas the stuff that happens in Industrial Craft doesn't necessarily feel as natural to you. Because you're making things that are incredibly complex. You're making machines and so forth. Like, it's easy enough to imagine through a crafting recipe that you will get a shovel if you put a piece of iron on the end of a stick. Like, that seems like a shovel. It looks like a shovel when you draw it. Pickaxes and axes, same thing. Whereas if you're trying to build like a Industrial Crafts, I don't even know what they were called. Like, there's crushers or grinders or whatever, the things that would smush down ore into dust, pulverizer, whatever it would be called. Like, I can't even imagine what the crafting recipe for that would be. It's something that they had to kind of figure out. And obviously, like, there's stuff later on, like enchanting tables. You're not exactly going to figure out that recipe intuitively, but once you've seen one, it makes sense, and you remember it. In modded, you have to use JEI. And for some reason, using JEI or NEI to, like, look up recipes and build stuff, that took me ages to understand. Like, it took me a while to realize that you had to have this in-game recipe book that was going to tell you how to make everything. And now they have one in vanilla, and it makes perfect sense, but it makes stuff faster to craft, so it's useful. There's a mod that adds 400 new biomes. I mean, there's been a lot of biome mods over the years, and there's some really crazy configurations of the open terrain generator mod now that have just been really interesting to look at. And when we were doing Minecraft Harmony, looking around the biome bundle pack for OTG was really quite something. With all those vanilla blocks. Kind of really made a big impact on the look of the game. Main reason you play modded is that the few things in vanilla that annoy you that are easily solved with mods. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's whether you relish the challenge of vanilla just being a little bit awkward, or if you're just like, no, that needs to change. I want a solution to that, and vanilla does not currently provide one. I can absolutely appreciate people's reasons for playing modded. I'm not hating on modded in the slightest. It's just not for me. And it depends on the type of mods we're talking about as well. Like, I'm talking about content mods specifically because God knows I use enough Optifine and I've used the replay mod so often that, like, me having any kind of issue with modded would be severely misguided because modding means a lot of things to different people. Like, technically right now I'm playing a modified version of Minecraft. It's just Optifine and it's for vanilla. Why am I collecting sand? Because I ran out of it in doing all of the stuff that I was doing in today's stream. I just smelted a ton of glass and made a ton of concrete powder, and I'm out of sand, so I want more sand. You played a lot of vanilla, you got it in 2010. See, yeah, I only started playing Minecraft in 2014, so it's, you've got like 5 years on me, basically, at that point. It is understandable that people who've been playing since Alpha and Classic, like, want a bit of a change at this stage. And for the longest time, like, modded Minecraft was one of the only ways that you could get new content, because you didn't know what was coming from Mojang. Like, Notch was still updating the game in very small increments, and people creating stuff with mods were making some of the more exciting content. There's a reason that modders ended up getting hired to develop more stuff for the vanilla game. Like, there's a reason they hired Dr. Jacques to give us horses. It's because, like, people were good at what they did, and they still are. I mean, look at Tango and his villager mod now, and the amount of it that is being mirrored by Mojang's own development of villages. Whether or not you feel like Mojang is taking their cues from him, or it's just like that law of averages thing where the things Tango wants to see implemented in the game turn out to be quite similar to the things Mojang themselves want to see implemented in the game. Like, sometimes modders are the people who have the best ideas, or what individual players might think are the best ideas. Let's face it, the main reason that modded Minecraft isn't, like, incredibly prominent at this point in the community is that the majority of the community plays Bedrock. I say the community, the player base. There's a kind of a different thing there, because you can't really count it all as a single community. Did I see Python stream yesterday? I tuned in for a little bit of it. I couldn't stay for long. I think it was around the time I was about to make dinner, so I briefly had it on in the kitchen before I started cooking. I could live without client-side mods. It's just nice to have them. It's nice to be able to have shaders and things like that. I could absolutely play entirely vanilla, and I did on this series for a while, because Optifine wasn't even out when I started this. You enjoy the relationship Mojang has with the modded community? Yeah, I mean, I remember when I met Zloy, he was playing on a magic mod server that had been set up by Mark Watson from Mojang. Like, they were all like, him and a couple of the other Mojangsters were playing on Magicraft, which was a server Mark, like, curated himself with a bunch of magic mods. It was like Witchery and stuff like that, and Thorncraft. I think there was bits and pieces of Railcraft in there as well, but really interesting pack. That was something that I kind of wish I could have gotten involved in, but I didn't know the first thing about any of the mods. I got a little bit into Thorncraft in DN Season 2. Thorncraft was fun. I liked that a lot. I think it's been discontinued by the original creator, hasn't it? I feel like somebody else either is taking over or should take over, because I love Thorncraft. It's a fun mod. Just over 3,000 days of playing Minecraft. I'm on day 1,537 of this world, but that's in-game days, so... What do I think will happen when 300 withers fight at once on the Hermitcraft server? It's funny because the last time they did that, they did it with like 100 withers. Was it something like 100 withers? And most of the withers just end up fighting each other. Durability is low. I know. I'm keeping an eye on it. I've seen it. I know it's very easy to break stuff when you're just like mining this fast, but I have faith in my tools. $83. Cool. I've got a second shovel here with me as well, so everything's got Unbreaking 3. Remember there was that glitch, I think in Minecraft 1.11 or 12, where you would have a tool with Unbreaking that could sometimes come back with like 1 durability? Because the tool would break in your hand, but Unbreaking would effectively like stop it from breaking, and then you'd refresh the inventory slot and you would get it back. That was always the best. Like, it was so good feeling like this weapon had just come back from the dead or whatever. It was kind of a lifesaver in a few situations. Not this time, though. You know what? I think that's probably enough sand. That's more than the double chest. I think we'll head back. Mainly because it's getting dark and I don't want to stay out here for longer than necessary. Mumbo Brumbo. What did I just say? Mumbo Jumbo breaking his shovel and multiple pickaxes. Yeah. I mean, he can break multiple pickaxes at this point because both him and Iskall have like crazy trading from their villagers, but yeah, he does that. He does that from time to time. Gold farm coming soon? At some point, yeah. Like, a lot of people have been like, your next video should be a gold farm. I'm like, guys, I make daily videos. I can't do it that fast. I've got to plan this stuff. We're going to do 3 gold farms in the course of this series. We're going to do an overworld gold farm. We're going to do a small-scale nether gold farm, probably over a lava lake or in the roof of the nether or something. Not on the roof, but in the roof. And then the third one is going to be the donut. Why don't I see your text? Because the chat scrolled up too fast and I was concentrating on digging sand and not having my shovel run out of durability. If you say it again, I'll read it this time. Any idea when the crossbow is coming? It's in Bedrock now. And in Java, it's coming in the Village and Pillage update, and we don't know when that's going to release because it's still in snapshots. Get wrecked. Hey, big dudes. 3 ghast tiers, very nice. Do you want to play on your new faction server? No. Sorry, I don't really have time to play on any other servers. Like, if I'm making Minecraft Survival Guide videos, it means that I have to go ham for this series and probably very few other series. Also, factions isn't really my jam. It doesn't sound like it's something I'd be interested in. Thank you for the offer, though. And I hope you enjoy the stream, if you're sticking around. Whoa, suddenly there are mobs. Have any of my villagers cloned themselves lately? I've come back here a couple of times, and the villagers have, like, duplicated, but it's a bug. I think just like a visual bug or something. But it's happened once or twice when I've come back to the house and one villager is just, like, phasing out of the other villager, and I'm like, no, get back in! And usually I just relog and it's fine, but yeah, man, that's it's a little bit disconcerting when suddenly one of these guys, who still aren't named, by the way, we have Mendelssohn up there, but we don't have either of those guys named. I feel like they're just going to be Statler and Waldorf or something. It's a shame there isn't a villager with, like, a black coat, because Statler and Waldorf, I'm pretty sure, just wore, like, suits because they were at the opera. Oh, that's all sandstone, isn't it? Yeah. Where's the sand? The actual sand. It's time to hear the music. It's time to light the lights. So much sandstone. For Daryl and the other brother Daryl. The brother from another mother. The mother. A villager from another illager. The illest of villagers. And I guess sandstone can go up here, except that's all glass, so it can't. Where should I put sandstone? You'll do. Can't put sandstone in any of these other things. Good. All right, to wrap up this stream, let's do some labeling. Because I need to label this. Sponge. Nope. Sponge. There it is. Bone blocks. Sandstone. Ice. Ice. Bebe. Coral. Walking Dead reference. Concrete. Powder. Oh, that did fit. Good. Obsidian. In all caps, because it's tough. Nether brick. Why signs and item frames? Because it looks good. So you can have labels and labels. Also, I don't like having the item name like pop up like that, because half the time it phases through a block, and then at some angles you can't see it because there are other entities in the way. And also, it takes a lot of levels. So I kind of like having the signs there, but I also like having the item there because it makes the whole system more colorful. I'm conflicted. So to get over my conflict, I do both. Because I can. Liquid hot magma. There we go. Random Austin Powers reference now too. I don't think we can really do anything with this. There it is. Do like that. That's kind of funny. I don't think I've really put stuff up here elsewhere in anything. I've got, these are all full of like random assortments of armor that I've gotten from end raiding and stuff. There's a protection 4 helmet in there, which I only have a protection 3. But yeah, it helps to have the writing on there and be able to see what the block is as well. It's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. I love how dragon heads look in item frames, because they're so big just in actuality, but it's like, you know that whole meme, like, don't talk to me or my son ever again? It's like that. Don't talk to me or my daughter ever again. This is going to be the mob heads chest, by the way. Did I tell you guys I got another skeleton head? I think I skipped over that in the episode in the end, but I think I maybe mentioned it on the last stream. Can make me a private server? No, don't worry about it. I've got one. It's called the single player world. All right, that's going to be it for this stream, folks. Wow, Cosmic Dancer. Wow. I mean, that was ever so slightly nuts, but congratulations on the new job. Or if you just got good news about a job, I hope the good news continues. Stick around for the raid. We're going to see if we can raid somebody out there who is streaming some Minecraft. Oh, look, Tab Twice is streaming. Let's raid her. Always great to raid Tab. Be warned that her stream is marked for mature audiences, so if you are worried about that stuff at all, please do click away. I'm pretty sure, in my experience, she hasn't used, like, bad language or stuff like that. Maybe she'll say, like, the occasional crap or whatever, but either way, if you're worried about that at all, please do feel free to click away. But in the meantime, we're going to raid Tab because, yeah, let's show some love around the Minecraft community, and she is the only person I follow who is currently streaming some Minecraft. So, yeah, don't forget to use your Pixel Hype emotes and the hashtag Pixel Raid. Show some love over on Tab Twice's stream. I will be back on Thursday, possibly with some more Minecraft, because let's face it, we're having fun playing Minecraft on these streams, and long may that continue. But in the meantime, my name's been Pixel Riffs. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.